Illinois, right?
Yeah.
How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing good. Can't complain. Still above ground.
It's always the best thing. Yeah. You were practicing last year, I think.
Yeah. No Darwin Tang been here today?
No, he's bowling a regional, PBA regional
Oh, okay.
in Utah.
Oh, okay. You know, I lost one of your business cards. You don't happen to have any more on you, do you?
But I
Okay.
will actually.
Bowlers, please hold up on your warm-up. Make sure that your lane is in the first position and that you have a full set of pins.
Bowlers, this is your last call to get into brackets or high game box.
Lane 18, oh, thank you. Lane 20, please reset.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Appreciate you. All right, time to get at it.
Good luck, everyone. Lane 10, please reset.
It's going to force you to be slow, which I would prefer you to do.
Mike.
Everyone should be in the first position.
Gyro?
Thank you.
Oh, you remember.
You're at the right?
It's great. I'm telling Luke it's crazy because like I missed it right a couple times. And it just like looked like someone kicked it right.
Really?
First name.
It's crazy. I almost feel like I have to miss it at the bottom and miss left.
Oh, okay. Do it for pizza the rest of you.
Back in the 70s, right? Okay.
With the pink ball? Remember that sometimes the pink ball. The pink was good to start because it was like picking up, but now I feel like it's already like quitting. Going too forward.
If she doesn't recognize the name, is that first all the way up to like 70?
We want you to be we just want to keep you.
Remember me from my car. I had a 76.
Maximize our ability to make the shots. If you can just keep it play, take the half 10 and the half 7, because like eventually it'll fall into the middle. Usually in trouble.
Brand new car.
Don't throw it a million. You got it. I trust you. I know. I'm not trying to. That's practically 14 and a quarter.
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time. It's the final qualifying squad. D squad officially on the lanes. As we continue the live coverage here from the CBE 10K Cactus Classic. Emil Williams Jr. here with you. Shout out to, it's funny, I've been here so many times now people remember me. Last year I met a gentleman who was from Chicago who had moved here, many years back, but we got to talk and he was practicing during my setup time last year. He's here to watch a little bit. Quick catch up with him. In front of us, Kyle King. Garrett Strail and the A-Cups. Corrine and Derek on 5 and 6, and on 7 and 8, Chad Lucy, Jennifer Nalsbosch, who is going to run it back. And I thought she had a solid enough look, certainly, to at least consider running it back, and she is going to do that. I think her husband is going to bowl as well. Dylan Taylor, who also shared his birthday with me yesterday on the 20th. So important to note, a player like Chad is at minus 24. Okay, so that's his high score. He bowled yesterday at noon, minus 24. I'm saying this just in case he doesn't eclipse that number. Right now, that number would be one of the 6 who would advance in the overall. I'm sorry, not in the overall. Yeah, the top 6 overall scorers who don't get auto spots. But with the talent and the caliber of this squad, I can understand why certainly he is going to bowl. Same thing with John Mayer, who is at minus 33 and also shoeing up. I think you can feel comfortable if you don't get an auto, but you get to minus 20 tonight on this squad. Minus 10 maybe, just because of the caliber. D-Ron has re-entered. D-Ron Booker, that is. Ryan Howard bowls. We were talking about him if you were watching the noon squad, and when we closed out, Ryan Howard's got a score of minus 7. He would be, or is second right now in the top 6 overall who don't get autos. He's going to try to improve that total. Well, first thing is he's going to try to get an auto spot. If for some reason he doesn't, then he's trying to improve his overall tally. So he's bowling again. Mikey McQuiston's bowling again. Chris Clerk bowling for the first time again along with Kyle King. See Ryan Riley next door. Over on 3 and 4. Keith Fong, Brianna Cote bowling again. Christine Johnson is bowling again. Mike Hardesty. Our 4th player next door is Alex Benton, who I've gotten to enjoy his game a couple times that I've seen him in the past. But the channel is open for business and has been on this pattern. Benton able to get kind of up and at him on that shot to make sure he was going up the lane and not toward the right of the lane. Next door, we've got Zach Van Dusen. We've got Cesar Padilla Jr. Looks like Alec Johnson is bowling again. Brett Wolf is bowling again. Matt Anderson, brother of Andrew Anderson, had himself a very nice season on the PBA Tour. Matt and Andrew, along with their other group members, had a good run at the Open Championships. I don't know what's going to happen today. Hello to, again, Ashley and Rep. Linnell checking in. Anybody else watching from home and just relaxing, appreciate you tuning in. Please hit the thumbs up if you don't mind and share across your networks. Nice pickup. I see a front four over on 1 and 2. Last time we saw Cesar Padilla Jr., he was struggling. This was yesterday. Oof. Terrible break. Brutal break for Jin there. So another date with the fresh for a lot of these bowlers here, the re-entries. And so far, boy, it's looking slightly different, but not by a ton.
Cortez, we always want to hear what you have to say.
All right, folks, good opportunity here, especially early, to talk with the leader of, what squad was that? C Squad.
C Squad, yes, sir.
Cortez Shank has joined us. And Taz, first of all, thank you. Good bowling. Why is the fresh so hard?
Well, thank you for the good bowling. Yeah, I appreciate it. They're just, I don't know, they're hard. Their pattern's really flat. It just feels like there's a lot of early friction in the front of the lane. I feel like as soon as you get the ball up the lane a little bit, it just kind of breaks loose. And, you know, for me, goes left. And then if you start trying to open it up and you get it going right, it obviously never seems to hook. So I think the biggest thing for my game plan today is when I saw my ball hook early, I tried not to, like, you know, go like 2 and 1 or 3 and 2. I try to keep my angles as square as possible all day. I just try to keep it kind of in front of the pocket as long as I could. I threw an old urethane ball today and just kind of grinded. You know, I think one of the big things today, even the people that made it out of my squad, no offense to myself or them, I do think a lot of it today was about parlaying the good hits. I do feel like on my squad, the guys that made it, including myself, we're all bowling right next to each other, and I feel like all of us, for the most part, capitalized on the Brooklyns or that trip 4. And if you can do that, you can parlay it, turn into a double or a 3-bagger. That seemed to be one of the biggest differentiating factors when a pattern like this is this hard.
I have heard more people say, maybe than I've heard it in a while, well, maybe not since last week at the U.S. Women's Open, that it's totally okay to take a Brooklyn today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll say it proud of my chest today. I'll take a Brooklyn all day long. Give me a Brooklyn, give me a face strike, give me a roll 2, I'll take it. So, yeah, I mean, I think today, again, guys who have like a 4 or 5-bagger, like, don't get me wrong, they could easily have like dead laced them for a few shots in a row. But I think the biggest thing that you're going to see of the guys who bowl well today are going to be, you know, those who kind of capitalize on those, you know, kind of lucky shots per se. And again, I'm not trying to call anyone out. I mean, I got plenty today. I'll admit that. I'll admit that out there. But when the patterns are this hard, sometimes it does come down to, you know, how you kind of get that Brooklyn, or you trip that 4, or really just, you know, break up the splits. You know, you leave a bunch of makeables. You can have, you know, 4 or 5, you know, spares in a row, and then you catch a double and then spare the rest of the game. You shoot deuce, which on this pattern is really good. So it's not just about Brooklyns. It's also just about breaking the splits and just keeping it in play.
No, you're right. Fitz talked about the same thing. He was able to get a couple of good breaks, too, and he didn't use the word parlay, but it's exactly what he meant.
Yeah.
He was describing the same situation for him earlier.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think this squad too, you're gonna see a lot more urethane. I think already it just kind of seems like the whole kind of group is throwing urethane for the most part. I think I think everyone maybe besides Fitz is pretty much throwing a urethane ball. It's in the cut right now. You know, it just, they're so hard. You have to just keep it in play. You just gotta take your flat 10s, your flat 7s, you know, your 4 pins, and kind of just move on, you know, and then just catch that double or triple and just try to execute and take advantage of the good pairs like Garrett's doing right now. I mean, you know, a little 5-3 and then a little 5-bagger. You know, he seems like he's lined up there. Last 2 shots were excellent. And, you know, even though it's game 1, you know, he's got a good look. Just take advantage of it. Try to pop off 240 plus, you know, and now you got a little wiggle room for the rest of the 6 games.
When you decided it was time to make moves on the lanes, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but it felt like throughout what I've watched, a lot of players have been able to kind of manage the fresh. Yeah, 2-0, 2-0, 190, 180, 190. Like, there's been a lot of that. And then the middle of the block gets really difficult in certain situations. It also seems like if you're right-handed, when you get later toward the block and you're trying to move left, it was a bit easier to get the ball right without it seeing the flattest part of the pattern, right? Because people who moved left early on the fresh yesterday, this morning, missing the head pin left.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so how did you try to manage just the transition as you got toward the end of the block, even though you were still throwing your thing?
Yeah, I think, I mean, this pattern is stretching a lot as, like, or during the block. It just, like, there was a lot of carry down. I think that allowed the ball just to get down the lane a lot easier. It just didn't seem as violent, even though the pattern's really flat, and even as you continue to move in, you know, you're in the flatter part of the lane. Just all like the urethane, just stretching it down, just really allows it to kind of just float through it a little easier instead of having to kind of feel like you have to like kind of like muscle it, whether it's ball speed or, you know, trying to get your hand around and get a lot of axis rotation. I don't know, whatever you do to get your ball down the lane, but it floated through it a lot better, just I think because there's so much urethane going down the lane. I think today, it's really just about trying to, like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of shots people today they throw maybe not like an A+ level shot, but they might have like an A- shot where, you know, you bowl on a house shot, splits the 8-9. You bowl on like a softer pattern, you might light mixer. But today, it's just those A- shots are just unfortunately leaving big 4s or going through the nose, or it's doing something very unexpected. I think some people are being potentially a little too critical of themselves when bowling. And they think, oh, that was just me. I missed it. I missed the little left there. Like, I just need to throw it better. And yeah, maybe that's, you know, they're hard. You got to throw it good. But I think the biggest thing, it just seems like the fronts, at least like earlier in the like games 2 to 4, they just feel like they transition so fast. It's just about kind of capitalizing on that and just realizing like the fronts are going to go. Your ball's going to kind of get off line a little quicker. Yeah, so.
In the booth with Cortez Shank, who led C Squad. He is on to tomorrow's match play. He and, at this point, 11 other players are on to match play tomorrow. This is squad number 4. It's the 4th and final full qualifying squad. After this is complete, we'll have 4 more players to advance. And then we'll know the top 6 players who also will advance. Those are the top 6 overall scores who did not receive an automatic spot from their specific squad into match play. So top 4 automatic, A, B, C, D, those squads are in. Then you take the next 6 overall scores, so the next 6 highest scores, which, for example, right now, DJ Knifel at plus 42, all but mark him in. That's how good he bowled yesterday. Did not get in, but he's been in the lead in the top 6 overall outside of that since yesterday, and no one's really come close to his number as well. Then you had some players coming in. There were 2 players at minus 54, which was technically a tie for 6. So we'll see it all shakes out. And then we'll end the evening with the Desperado squad. Desperado. We've got 2 spots available there, and those players will be seated 23rd and 24th respectively. Tez, what's been up with you I guess, kind of through bowling and then maybe what's happening off the lanes. It's been a while since I've seen you, so here's my catch-up opportunity.
There we go. Yeah. So I run a small company. We do water treatment for cooling towers, boilers, and closed systems. It was my dad's company, but I am running it now and continuing to run it and just trying to grow it. And things have been really good. We've been growing a good chunk. Really happy with what we're, doing out there, and just been working a lot. Really, I've been grinding. So a lot of work lately, running the company, trying to grow the business. Bowling, really haven't been bowling as much, unfortunately. I didn't go out on tour this year. I didn't make it through tour trials earlier, but middle of last year or whatever, in August. So didn't go on tour. I bowled the U.S. Open and the Masters this year. Bowled okay at the U.S. Open. I don't think I missed the number or the cash by that much. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but I know I bowled pretty good there. Masters this year in Detroit, made the top 64 bracket. Got knocked out real quick, so didn't go too well, but it was still fine nonetheless. But yeah, really haven't been bowling too much. There hasn't really been a lot to bowl. It's kind of felt like, at least out here in Arizona. And, when you look at financials sometimes of like going to some tournaments that are a little far away, I think it's tough being on the West sometimes trying to go to these tournaments. It just doesn't financially make sense. And I don't know, you can look at bowling as, sometimes just like a good time with your friends, go get to compete a little bit. Hey, if you pop off a good tournament, maybe break even or maybe profit a little bit on the weekend, you had a good time. So, I'll bowl tournaments like that now, but just haven't really got to bowl as much lately just because, one, the business has been so busy, and I just feel like there hasn't been a lot to bowl out here on the West, really.
Well, I'm happy that business is going well.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a big learning experience over the last few years. I learn something new every day. I'll try to keep an open mind when it comes to that. I got a good group of guys with us, and we're really happy that they're part of our team, and they teach me as well. Not just what we do sometimes, on the actual scope of work, but just how to try to be a better mentor, better boss, and all that stuff. So try to stay humble and be open-minded as much as I can. But yeah, business is good, so can't complain.
That's good.
Yeah. How about you? You've been traveling a lot for a lot of tournaments and stuff?
I've been everywhere.
Oh, there you go.
That's not uncommon, though.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's not uncommon. I went from Nebraska to Chicago to here.
Nice.
All of this week.
That's crazy.
Much like the Russos who are watching.
Oh, there
they
you
too
go.
were in Nebraska, but they are now in Missouri. Unless they're somewhere in Arizona and I don't know about it.
Yeah. I think they'd be bowling if they were here. I'd be surprised if they weren't.
They should bowl.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're pretty close to Bree. So
yes, they are.
Bree's got to pull them out here. I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, we need to get some other players. This is right up the alley. The problem is, it's not a problem, but they just bowled the U.S. Women's Open.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of bowling and brutal conditions.
So Bree is still bowling, which is fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but she's local, so I could understand it.
Yep.
Might be difficult to go bowl after about 70 games.
Oh yeah.
and
No,
go hop
for
on the
sure.
flight.
I hear you.
I'm not seeing much in regards to the high score department. I see more games that, again, start well but don't end well.
Mm-hmm.
And even, of course, in front of us here on 5 and 6, 7 and 8, Kyle has gone through a couple of things. He's come back and kind of shaken out his right hand a little bit.
Yeah. It does look like he's having some hand pain maybe, or his fit's not good, or he's maybe swollen or something. I do see that, yeah. But yeah, you're right. Scores are really low. On 1 and 2, Mike Hardesty shot 203. And then it looks like on 9 and 10, Cesar Padilla has a chance to shoot 248 game 1. He has a 10th frame left. So if he gets all 3 and 10, he can shoot 240. Oof. Luckily it's a fill ball there. But
Well, Kyle will be happy about that. 157. He does look like he's in some level of pain. And it's a little warmer in here tonight.
mm-hmm.
But it makes sense. This squad is one of the largest, probably the largest since yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a pretty full house in here. And yeah, scores are really low. Wow. It's really easy to just gag a game off pretty much. Like you. I think there was a game today. I went like spare, double. I can pace for 2-teen, and I have 240, 250 alive easy, and I think I shot 200 flat that game, and I'm like, what a waste of a few good frames there. Just so easy to back it off and not capitalize on the pair.
Yes, there were a few games, not just from you, but a lot of players had that. And I actually referenced last week's U.S. Women's Open because I watched a lot of that. I watched players have the front 6 and not shoot 200. There was a front 7. Somebody shot 200 even. I mean, like, it feels exactly like that. And this pattern is one of the lengths of, I think it's the exact length of the day 2 pattern at the U.S. Women's Open at 38 feet.
Okay.
It's as flat. But, I mean, there's some similarities. It's very interesting. They keep waiting for that one player or person to really get off to a great start on the fresh, and it just has not happened. Now, but a great start today, again, is shooting 2-0.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great start today.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, okay, one person will probably shoot 230 out the gates. But, no. Even though Cesar can get to 220 now, he did not strike.
Oh, and he whiffed the spare.
And then he missed the spare.
2-teen there.
And just like that. I mean, that is
definition of today in this tournament so far.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, he has 240 alive, hits the pocket, flat 10s, unfortunate. Then whiffs it to shoot 2-teen. I mean, it's a 30, 40 pin swing there. It's a heartbreaker on something like this.
Speaking of Bree, she opens with 157. She's bowling on the pair, well, at least at the moment, with Brett Wolf. Let's see who her crossing partner is. Looks like she's going to cross with Deron Booker tonight.
Deron, Brett, and I think Matt Anderson. It's a good pair.
And the high game is going to be maybe 180.
Maybe. It's a question mark right now.
I mean, that tells you all you need to know, folks.
Yeah.
Let's go quickly over there real quick. The high game on that pair. Deron Booker has won the Masters. Brett Wolf has won the Masters. Who else? Bree has won the U.S. Women's Open.
And multiple PWBA titles.
5-time titles.
Yep.
And Matt Anderson, he's got some individual accolades of his own, not at the national level, but everywhere he goes, he bowls well.
Yep.
And the high game might be 180.
Might be, yeah.
That is a microcosm of this tournament this weekend.
Yeah.
Especially on the fresh.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to be the high of 170. 169 to 170. That's crazy.
I was a little surprised at Brett, too, yesterday. I was expecting him to kind of be in the, not quite the Ben Perry territory, because Ben Perry was
something else. An animal yesterday.
Otherworldly.
Yeah.
But certainly to have a decent look. And he struggled.
Yeah, I think Brad likes to kind of slow curve it around it a little more, and Ben likes to keep it a little more in front of him. He's a little firmer, a little less rev rate. That's probably the difference of why they bowled a little differently. Alec Johnson. Ooh, he's shooting potential 230 here.
Okay.
Here's your 230.
Okay, Alec.
Here you go. He's in the 220s right now, as long as it's not a horrible count. I mean, he's in the 230s right here.
He started really well also during, what did he bowl this morning? I think he bowled at 7 a.m. Let me go double check.
Yeah, he's actually been bowling really good lately. This year, he's bowling great. He's won, I think, a couple CBEs and multiple caches and stuff in our local stuff. Definitely is, not that he hasn't been successful before, but he's having a lot of success right now. He's definitely, I don't know what he's eating, some Wheaties or what, but it's working. I need him to stop doing it, actually. He's taking the money away from me. Him and Derek. Derek's been also crushing it recently. I think Phoenix in general has a lot of sleepers I think most of the country doesn't know about and stuff. A lot of old JBT bowlers and guys that, don't bowl full-time or anything like that on tour or even regionally, really. But guys that just still are just good bowlers. And Just even their few nights of league night they do a week or something, they're still definitely a force you reckon with from time to time, you know. So, yeah, Alec and Derek both recently have been crushing it.
You're right, though. I did get my wish. He did shoot 234 to be exact.
Is that the high game, game one? You seen?
But without seeing what happened on the high end, I would have to guess.
Yeah.
We've had this was yesterday. I think someone shot 240 in game one, but the typical high game has been around 220 with a spot 230, but nothing consistent after that. Like there's no 230 out the gates.
Yeah.
Alec shot 212, 216 this morning, his first two.
Oh, that's a good start. I could see Alec bowling another good game, just also because he's on the left side, a little less traffic over there. I think he's throwing some super old urethane ball, so that thing looks pretty stable and is not hooking too much. So I think if it just kind of stays in there, he might be able just to, you know, shoot another 2-teen or something. That'd be great. That's a beautiful start, 230, 2-teen.
Can I get you to stay for one more game?
Yeah.
So speaking of grenades or
Yes,
old
sir.
urethane balls,
Yes, sir.
You were throwing a grenade,
Yep.
and then so I went down this research. I'm like, well, Rotogrip made a couple of grenades, and but who was it? Carl was saying it was very old. So then we had some people in the chat trying to guesstimate what year the ball was from. So which grenade was it? First of all,
It was the super old one, but I don't know when that was made, but it was super old.
it's older than you. is what
Older
you're
than
saying.
me. I think it's like, it might be like the mid to late 80s, I think, potentially. That ball, I got that from OfferUp for like $10. It was listed, said like grenade bowling ball, $10, 15 pounds. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go buy this. Bought it, and it felt a little heavy. I'm like, you know, I don't think this is 15, but you know what? It's $10, whatever. Got it, weighed it, 16. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, whatever. I'm still going to drill. It's a grenade, OG grenade. I don't see those very often. Drilled it. I've had it for like 5 or 6 years. I just don't really ever throw it. But we moved into a new rental house last night, and so we were cleaning out the other house, and I have a bunch of bowling balls underneath the bed, and so we moved the bed, and I saw it there, and I'm like, you know what? From what I heard, from what day one was like, all urethane, I'm like, I'm going to bring this grenade tomorrow, and we'll see what it does. I actually practiced this morning at B3 a little bit. I had to throw that ball because I was like, you know, I don't even know what this fully does. I need to get some reps with it. And, yeah, I threw it all 7 today. It was great. It was wonderful. I think the extra pound, that man weight really, allowed me to capitalize and parlay more shots than my opponents today.
Did it have the Brunswick crown on it? Did I make that? Because I thought I saw the crown in the middle of that span in the grip.
No, it's like a I don't know what it is. Because rotor grip. I don't know what.
Okay, I wasn't tripping. It was. I saw the label. And I'm like, okay, it's rotor grip. But then there was some in the middle that looked like a crown. So I'm like, nah, maybe it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really know what the CG marking really looks like exactly, but I think it might be something that looks like a crown potentially, or some sort of logo. But yeah, I don't know. That ball is super old. It's pretty good. I know Simo throws one. And
well, you're good then.
Yeah, exactly, right? If Simo's doing it, I mean, he's the GOAT, so I'm just trying to copy him.
I heard you might have a stash of oldie but goodie.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have about like 80 to 90 nibs over the years.
80 to 90.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
gems, yeah. I just used to collect them. The balls go discontinued, and so I'd, whatever it might be. Let's say a Marvel S. Love it.
Oh,
so
wow.
good, so good. I'm like, I gotta, when it's
That
going
is a great
discontinued, I
ball.
gotta get a couple more. So I have a couple Marvel S's, got Marvel Pearls, got IQ Nanos, Frantic. I mean, there's a total, I've got a bajillion balls. So, yeah. But it's so easy to collect them. But now I'm at this point, I'm like, I don't even know if I should drill it. Like, I feel they don't roll the same anymore, Like, the oil's
also
changed,
true.
the balls are always constantly curing.
Right.
I don't know. But it also is cool sometimes, on Facebook, someone's like, you'll see, it's like ISO, nib frantic or something. And then people just start tagging you, and you're like, yeah, that's me. I'm that guy. I got that ball.
Well, there are going to be people who are going to clip this, the last 3 minutes
All right.
of our conversation, and say, hey, and I hope they say, I was watching Bullstream TV, and I heard that Cortez has X, Y, and Z new inbox, and your Facebook Messenger is going to just go crazy.
Pop off, yeah. I'd love it. I got to start a little business with it. You know, I'll take the earnings, reinvest it, start another company, and just the used bowling ball or nib bowling ball collection. Be great.
It is game 2. We got Bree Cote, Ryan Riley, Mike Jones, D-Ron Booker here on 7 and 8. Keith Fung, who also bowled this morning. Zach Van Dusen just got off the lanes. He bowled this afternoon. And Jericho, I think Jericho, this might be his 3rd time bowling today, maybe?
He was in the last squad for sure, because I bowled him in the last game. He bowled pretty good the last game. I think he was kind of doing that same thing. It was on a 78U from a little left there. Just keeping nice and tight to the pocket. And I think he had like spare, like 5-bagger last game, so it looked good. I know Bree's throwing a hustle PBR right now. She's pulling out the gems too. That one's a really good one. That's one I don't have in the stash. So any viewers out there trying to get rid of your hustle PBR, let me know. Hit me up. I'm glad to take it off your hands.
She's been dealing with what I've seen everyone else deal with at some point, where you kind of move left. Maybe you cut one early and it goes left. Then you kind of get it to the spot down lane that you want to get it to, and then it doesn't hook. That's what she did in frame 2. Frame 1 was kind of left, makes the spare. Frame 2 makes an adjustment, then misses the head pin. It's a great shot from D-Ron. Looked like a pitch black.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a little look right here. Yeah, I mean, if you can get your ball through the front pretty easily on this pattern, I think you got some play. I think the hardest part is just really battling the fronts when you get it up the lane. If it just breaks loose, and then you're kind of in trouble. Oh, she's going to plastic. Oh. Heck yeah. Let's go. Do the plastic ball up the middle, Brooklyn. Time. It struck. Time to parlay it. Taking the lane out of play, as she says.
She's going old school.
Yeah.
She's going older than your thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, realistically, though, with this scoring pace and what we saw from our little section right here, I mean, if you can get to, like, even to -20, you've got a real good pop of making it outside the top 4 thing, but like the total 6, guys. I mean, we know DJ is probably going to be in. He's sitting real nice. But, yeah, if you can be, like, even to -20, I think that's going to make it. So she can, I guess, get the straight ball to get working. She might be in a good spot.
Well, Matt Zweig went to a similar strategy. He didn't use plastic, but he basically was throwing it right at the head pin, took his hand completely out of it, and figured out a way to then start to carry better, because he started to leave a couple like Plaque 5 pins and stuff like that. Then he went to I think he said it was a fired up?
Fever pitch.
Fever pitch, thank you.
Yeah.
And then he just went to town. 2-1, 250. That was the big game. 255. Leave some makeable though. Again, I don't not like the strategy in that sense, because like if she leaves 9, she's gonna make it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If you do that, 30 times for the rest of the day, get a good chance of advancement.
I agree.
Derek Acuff starting to get loose over there on 9 and 10.
Oh, yeah.
He did not bowl well in the previous squad, and he already looks a bit more confident. Well, that's easier to do, obviously, when you feel like you got an understanding of what your ball is going to do.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, you gotta play. You gotta feel for it. It's funny in tournaments like this. Sometimes I feel like I want to make it out of the first squad I bowl. I don't want to dump more money into it. But on the other hand, I mean, it's almost the more squads you bowl, the more you get to know about the lanes. You figure out what things you can get away with, what things you do, lane play, and you never know. That one squad you might have picked up a little knowledge, and you might use that the rest of the time through match play or something, and that's what got you the dub that tournament. So it's kind of interesting in tournaments like this. I mean, I know that's a very just like kind of broad kind of thing to say, but sometimes bowling more squads doesn't feel good in the moment. But if you can make it and you gained a lot more knowledge that you can carry forward in that match play, you know, that might be the deal breaker versus someone who bowled one squad and, you know, they saw it for 7 games, but, you know, every squad always plays a little different. You know, you might notice some characteristics play the same in between squads, some didn't, and you can use that accordingly.
Theo is adding scores into Tournament Bowl right now, so let me drop that link in the chat for you. It will be pinned, and you'll have that to reference for the rest of this squad. Once you get there, if you haven't seen Tournament Bowl yet, there is a drop-down menu or filter. You can select standings for only a particular squad that you just want to see from that particular event, like yesterday's noon, this morning 7 a.m., for example. And then, of course, you can see everything up to a certain squad as well. Does look like Alex 234 was indeed the high. Sean Noshbush, though, on the high end, did shoot 225.
Oh, nice.
You watched Cesar Padilla shoot 215. Dylan Taylor got away with 213 over on 7 and 8. Garrett Strail shot 212 on 5 and 6. Mike Jones, I think he was on 3 and 4. Opened with 196. Throws it really well. I don't know how long he's been bowling or what his story is, at least locally. But he's been throwing it pretty solid. The squads that I've seen. Jessica Noshbush, that was my sleeper earlier because she keeps it in play.
I
Shot
agree.
193 to
Okay.
open up.
Hey, that's a good start. We'll take that.
Oh.
Look at that. That's funny. No, I agree. I think Jessica, that's a great pick for someone who is going to be, I think, bowl very well on something like this. There's a there's a guy, Garrett's dad, Chris Strell. If he's got to watch this replay later. I'm telling him he should have bowled. This is like right up his alley. He likes to keep it in front of him. I'm like, that is like perfect for you. This is like the time. Take advantage of that.
Look at Cote. Watch the 245.
Look at that. Plastic ball goes crazy. So do you bowl at all?
A little.
A little.
A little means I bowl 1 league. And prior to last season, I was probably averaging about 15 weeks
Okay.
of a 35-week season. And last year I actually got upwards of 20, which was I even stepped down from being like a regular to just being a sub because
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't obviously going to be there every week. I even bowled more last year. So, yeah, 1 league, I keep telling myself, yeah, you want to bowl more. And then when it comes time to kind of put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, it just never works out.
No, I hear you.
I got to put forth more effort, though. That's tough. That is tough there, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, what you said about Mike, he's I don't really know his full story either. I just know he bowls for GCU.
Okay.
And he's been bowling this year a little bit more, CBEs and just other events, and he's been bowling really good. I think he bowled a TMBA event in Vegas a few weeks or a month ago or so, and I think he bowled pretty good up there. So yeah, he's definitely someone who is kind of moving up the ranks and being a little sneaky about it because I didn't know who he was before. I think he moved here from another state potentially. I don't know where exactly he's from.
I think this is my guy from Chicago.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why maybe this is my first. This year is the first year I've been hearing about him. But yeah, he's bowling great out here. He's definitely turning some heads for sure.
It's funny. I was Ben Canfield was in the chat earlier. Coach, he's the head coach for Grand Canyon, and I was like, Ben, why aren't you bowling? Why are any of your students bowling?
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, players. And he said, everyone went home. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Everyone's home for the summer. But he didn't say Mike. So maybe Mike graduated. He was listed as a senior on the Grand Canyon website.
Okay.
Ryan Riley. Hello to Annie, by the way. Hope everything is well with the family. He threw a fantastic shot in frame 4 to help get him started a little bit. It's just the inconsistencies from shot to shot, man. It's just so you just don't know. And I feel like when you feel like you're throwing it good, you still don't know.
Yeah.
you still are not quite sure what your bowling ball is going to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, pair to pair, lane to lane, it's been really hard just because everyone's playing them a lot differently. And the center hooks a lot in general, typically. So I think that's also making it hard just because the fronts, I feel like on this pattern are going, and then just the characteristics of bowling center are not helping that. So, look at Bree. Oh, there's the plastic ball. Darn. Oh, it's a good cover there for Mike. So you're from Chicago.
Yes.
You live in Chicago.
Yep.
Okay.
I now live exactly in the lived in the South Burbs for a little over a decade now, but I was born and raised in the city.
Okay. That's nice. You love Portillos? Portillos?
I mean, it's not my favorite thing. I do enjoy it. I certainly enjoy it. Is it my favorite thing? Some things are. But yes, to answer your question, yes. I would never turn it down.
Okay.
To put it that way. In fact, I've seen so many Chicago-like restaurants since I've been here this time.
Okay. Interesting.
I was at the Tempe Marketplace. And there's a Portillo's there.
Yes, sir.
And a Lou Malnati's.
Yeah, I think there might be a Luminizer there, yeah.
Also a Chicago pizza staple. And I'm like, well, you know, I know we get a lot of, I'm sure this area gets a lot of transplants, retirees, et cetera, certainly from winter cities, right, like Chicago.
Yeah.
But then someone told me today, I forgot who it was, I was having a baseball conversation, and they said that the Cubs spring training facility is near Tempe Marketplace.
Yeah.
Then I put it together, because now you've got Chicago folks coming here every single March or in February.
Spring training.
And they want good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Is Giordano's a Chicago thing, or is it just like a Midwest?
It
okay.
is.
I think we do have. I think we have Giordano's here.
You got everything that's Chicago-based. I mean, not everything.
The good stuff.
If it's kind of touristy, it's here. It feels like. I mean, you don't have Harold's here, and if you do, then I'm moving. I'm moving here immediately.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to reach out to Harold's in Chicago and tell them the franchise out in Phoenix.
It wouldn't shock me if one opened up. Maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, great business idea.
Front three open four-bagger for D-Ron Booker. Starting to look more like himself as well.
Yeah, he's got a nice look right now.
If you had to throw urethane, or I'm sorry, something reactive today, like what ball would you have even considered?
Oh, man. Oh, man. I mean, I think I might have thrown reactive one time in the 10 minutes of warm-up. I mean, I just was like committed. I'm like, there's just no chance of going reactive on this. Like, I'm just not going to be that guy. But if I had to throw a reactive ball, I mean, I didn't bring it with me, but I do have like a Hustle USA. It's pin on axis, and I usually just like hit it with a ton of surface and just let it read really early and kind of just freeze. Pretty much make it like a urethane ball.
Oh, okay.
And that's probably what I would have thrown. Otherwise, I mean, if we're talking about like just like I guess like a regular kind of reactive ball, something I'd throw like on a day-to-day basis, maybe in league or something like that, or something that's a little more playable than this. I mean, I'd probably throw like an Ion Pro. I'm a big fan of that ball. Just kind of, you know, benchmarky, middle of the road, kind of safe. But even then, I mean, I think urethane's the right answer still, or just something that's controllable, like a short pin bowling ball. Like that right there, 78U. I mean, he's in with that thing, and it looks great. He's got a little hook, a little shove. I like that. I like that a lot. The other interesting thing I've noticed too is there'll be guys who, like to your point, like game one, they, you know, the higher scorers are like, you know, higher 210s, lower 220s. And there's a lot of guys obviously that shoot less than that, 180, 170, 190. But then you'll get some people who like after shooting like 170 that first game, they'll kind of put like a string of strikes together the next game just randomly. I feel like they didn't like really make a big move or anything. It just like the lane kind of came to them, I guess, and it looks good. Like I don't know who off the top of my head I could look at, but there's definitely a few people out there I feel like that. I mean, D-Ron shot 160, and I think he was throwing urethane before. Now, I mean, he opened there, but he can shoot 230 here. And I don't really know how much different he's playing him than he did the first game, and might change his angles a little bit, but general same idea there of the urethane ball. Alex Benton, 3 and 4, can shoot 230 here. Shaping a purple hammer. 9 count. Probably get away with 220 hopefully here. That's a great game. Oh. Pocket 8-10, that's brutal. I think this is the first year this tournament's been on something less than like 40 feet. I think the last few years, this tournament, they've always kind of, I feel like, try to shut the urethane ball out a little bit. Just to try to make him a little harder because it feels like everyone throws urethane these days. But this is the first year they kind of went less than 40 feet. And I thought when they did that, I thought the scores would be a little higher. I mean, I know the pattern's really flat, but I still thought the scores would be a little higher. And I mean, I like the scoring pace. It's nice to have tournaments like this every once in a while where it's just a straight grind, you know? You take your 190 or deuce and you move on. It's not about stringing strikes.
Do you have a preference?
This level of hard is fun, obviously, but I do think luck sometimes comes into play. Like when you get, like I said earlier, you parlay that Brooklyn and stuff like that. It's kind of placements of when those happen and when and how much you're breaking up splits and stuff like that. So I don't. Again, I like this pattern. I think this is great. But if I had to pick and choose, I think I'd want it to be like a touch softer than this. I feel like when they're this hard, the Brooklyn is more in play. Whereas you make them a little bit softer, I feel like the ball, it'll hold line a little longer and it won't cross over Brooklyn. It'll go through the nose. You know what I'm saying? Oh, great shot, D-Ron. That was good. Great shot there. But yeah, I mean, I'd probably, if I could pick, I'd want them a touch softer. Yeah, I think this length's pretty nice. I mean, I think it allows you to throw urethane. I think if it was a little softer, you might be able to get reactive there and maybe create some steep angles at the gutter. So it's nice to have like kind of mix of both. I like tournaments like that where it's not just straight urethane or it's just straight reactive. It's nice to be able to have to kind of move around both at times. But that's just me being, I guess, really picky.
Nice job by Ken Thurman. Talked to him a little bit during the break. He shot 193. He said he was from Chula Vista, maybe. Second, Deucin 158. Bree shot 177. D-Ron's going to be in the 220s. Jones had something brewing. He's solid, though.
Man, that reactive ball is sideways. So flat.
Very, very intriguing. Again, folks, top 4 will advance to match play tomorrow. And top 4 from this squad advancing with the top 4 from the 3 previous squads. That includes 2 earlier today and 1 yesterday. After those players, then you look at the next 6 highest scores overall in the standings. They will advance to tomorrow, and then the Desperado will decide the final 2 players to advance. That's a 2-game sprint. It will be immediately following this squad, and as immediate as we can get, basically. Once the score sheets are in, the announcements are made, those who need to re-enter or would like to enter the Desperado they'll take those entries.
I think that's the high game of the tournament down there. It's, Wyatt Trzowski looks like me on 15-16 or something. Shot 280.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we're talking about right there.
Now, Kyle Ponzo
Nice.
did shoot 277, 79 yesterday.
Oh, that's a nice game, too. That's huge. That's huge on this. You shoot that, you're like, I can go to bed the next 6 games.
Yeah, he was, of course, he was in the roll-off with Kyle Duster.
Oh, yeah.
But not a roll-off for 4th. This was for the first round bye. So, yeah, Kyle, I'm going to see exactly what it was. He bowled at noon yesterday, 277.
277, yeah, that's a great game.
That was on 3 and 4 in particular, still with urethane in the middle of the lane.
Yeah, I think Wyatt Trzowski was throwing a pink Widow urethane. So another urethane ball, just asymmetrical one.
Well, I've seen that. I think Corrine at least threw it in practice. I think she did.
Yeah, she tried it, yeah. Yeah, she did try it. Derek has 222 alive here. See if he can.
Jessica again. She shot 193. Telling you, that's one to keep an eye on here.
I
A-cuff.
agree.
Finally got one to fall on the first shot in the 10th. 2 more in the 10th from Jessica. Once she gets back to the 10th frame, she will be in the 190s. Chris Clerk, somebody always to keep an eye on as well. He's over on 13 and 14. Bree's now over on 3 and 4. You can see her bottom right of your screen. Still in plastic. And gets the 4.57 to carry. That's what we like to call the old Aaron Smith.
Nice. Good shot, Derek.
Look at Derek. Sending pins. He was looking forward to bowling this, and obviously things didn't go as well as he would have liked earlier. But when I asked him this morning, he was watching Kareem bowl. He anticipated himself being in the purple for the entirety of the block, at least a good majority of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many bowling balls he may have gone through this squad, or in the previous squad, but he definitely certainly is in the purple and looks to be a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, he does look good. Oh, yeah. He looks like he's in his happy spot there. Yeah, I would be shocked if he didn't get out of the purple today. I think he's got a couple with him. I think he'll kind of just stitch around them. Just, again, to keep it in play. I don't think he's going to risk the biscuit and go to reactive. Especially when it looks like that. That was beautiful. Ripping off the gutter nicely. Garrett Strell has a 2-teen, and that's that thing. You move pairs, and it, first frame already starts with an open, 8-1, and that's just like you already kind of feel like you're working from behind a little bit. So hopefully you can get a strike here, create a double, and maybe bail the game out with 180.
Dylan Taylor going to be in the 2-teens, and boy, a lot of that's not uncommon today, folks. Either been a couple of gutters. It's been the way it's been. Best way to put it.
Yeah. It's like Alec Johnson shooting 2-0 down there. It's a little 230, 2-0 action. It's nice.
Dylan Taylor shoots 217. And looks like Mikey McQuiston strike to get him to 201.
Deuce is good. Give him the Brooklyn. 199. Still a good game. All right, here's your girl, Jessica.
Big shot here. Yeah, you start 190, 190, you're looking good. She ran into trouble, I think it was like games 5, 6-ish in the afternoon squad. Kind of in between balls to where it looked good, like through the fronts, and then as soon as it got moving down lane, Brooklyn, she left at 5-7, or 5-10 actually made it.
Okay, there you go. Oh, I did see that.
Yep.
That's a great spare to pick up. I feel like I never make that. I never know how to shoot it. I try to do a little backup action, end up just missing them all. And I'm like, I should have just taken the one.
Little deadwood clear off camera, actually a couple. We got multiple pins everywhere.
Someone's going to the gym, I guess.
Yeah, lane 3 getting a supreme workout.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he doesn't see it because it's so far up. Oh. Oh, man.
Well.
Oh, I think he got it. He sees it. Hey, he's messing up my line. I honestly, I don't know how much that affects that stuff. I feel like people say that like jokingly, But I feel like maybe low-key it does kind of affect it. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just in my head about it. But, you know, if I big 4 the next shot or I 2-8-10 and I thought it was somewhat decent, I'm blaming it on that.
Like the deadwood removal?
Yeah, when he touches the lane or steps on the lane. Even if he steps, like, at 50 feet.
Correct.
You know,
Like
his
he was
boot,
near the pin deck, right?
his boot or his shoe touched the carry down right there, and that's why ball overhooked. That's why. That's the reason I'm taking. I'm just joking around.
I mean, I could use that.
Yeah.
You could use that once. Like, you get to use that
Mhm.
once, and then
Yeah.
you can't use it again.
Yeah. It's your mulligan. Ooh, there you go, D-Ron. Looks like he's got a good look here. That's a good feeling today. When you move to the next pair and you start off with a strike, you hit the hole again, you're like, all right, this pair might be kind of close to the last pair. That's good news.
How close were pairs for you when you were maneuvering through that 7-game block? Like, did you have some that were?
I feel like every time I was making some pretty kind of interesting moves, I was always kind of going left and right and just moving around the lane a little bit, kind of maybe move my eyes a little in just to kind of keep it more parallel and keep it a little more in front of me. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever hit a pair. I kind of just got to sit in the same spot, like pair to pair, and or even just do like a one-board move or something like that. It was always kind of a weird move I was always making. So I think you have to just be open-minded to that on this pattern, just to know once you move pairs, it's kind of, you might have to make a drastic move potentially. Same ball, maybe the same idea, ball motion-wise, but the move might be a little bigger than you'd normally see at like league or another tournament or something like that, just because the fronts hook so much. Bree's going for the plastic again. Get out of there.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at that. And you know what? That's a 14-pound plastic ball. I'm pretty sure it's 14.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, she's
still
throwing
14, right? Yeah. So she's carrying with a 14-pound plastic ball. We don't need this high-performance balls. We just need plastic balls.
So plastic and urethane going down the lane.
Yeah, it looks good right there. I think D-Ron's going to pull a nice game here, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx him, but I do think that looks nice right there. I like that a lot.
It's so soft at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about touch earlier, and players with touch. And really great touch, of course, from D-Ron.
For sure. Yeah, you don't win the Masters without some touch, that's for sure. No, yeah, D-Ron, he's a great bowler. I've bowled against him for a long time, through juniors and stuff like that. Always definitely a force to be reckoned with, and yeah, he's definitely got game.
Cortez Shank has been hanging out with me. Feel free to stay this game, or if you need to leave. I don't want to hold you hostage, but I am enjoying your conversation. It's nice.
No problem. Yeah, maybe I'll stay down for a couple more frames. I gotta go see what some of the
everyone has moved.
The friends are doing.
end.
Yeah. Well, I'll stay around for a little longer here. Wyatt Trzowski shot 280 last game. He's on 11 and 12, it looks like, and he's got a double to start this game.
It's on the bottom right, so that's 12 in a row. You said he shot 280?
280. Yeah.
Like the traditional way?
Yep. Strike, spare, sheet. Roll it, baby.
So that was a very popular.
Yeah.
Back 10, front first 2.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's something I didn't anticipate. But again, what's that, the Black Widow urethane, right?
Pink Widow urethane.
The Pink Widow, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The pearl version of it. Keith throwing a pitch black. That was nice.
All right. So Trzowski makes the spare. He's, again, off to a good start. He's bowling with Mike Jones now, trying to see who else is on his pair. Chris Clark has moved down to 9 and 10 with Robbie Patterson. You can see them at the bottom right of your screen.
I think James Hawkins might be the other bowler on their pair.
Looks like Kevin Jenkins is moving left. We'll see him shortly. Derek Acuff is moving away from us. Urethane is your
Oh.
friend here today.
Derek gets a double. Starting this game off nice. He's in his happy spot. Oh, Calvin caving in the big 4 there. Calvin, another great local bowler here in Arizona. He's definitely another bowler who's just the last year or so, I feel like is really starting to shine a lot more. I feel like we have some midweek tournaments here in Phoenix in the summer times with King of the Hills and stuff like that. And he's been bowling great at those and bowling great at CBEs. And I feel like there's been a lot of improvements amongst the bowlers here in Arizona. And yeah, I feel like our state's getting a lot stronger. I don't know what it is, but it just is. Oh my gosh. Brees, 4-bagger with the plastic.
Listen, I mean, it's about as old school as it gets.
That's great.
Right?
That's awesome. You know, I'd love to see. I would love to see her shoot bills this game. That would be epic. That would be awesome.
That's funny. We went over that actually. Good question in regards to the grenade, but since he won't be here too much longer, I will ask him to kind of recount your story with regard to what made you bring the grenade to the bowling center today for those who missed that story.
Yes. So the grenade. So we were moving to a rental house yesterday, and I kind of heard from people that pretty much everyone threw urethane yesterday. So I'm like, all right, it's a urethane tournament. You know, I got my pitch black, my fast pitch, all that good stuff. But I was like, it's nice to have a couple unique options every once in a while. I was like, ball I think it'd be great would be the grenade. And I was like 99% sure it was under the bed that we moved. And so we moved the bed, and I saw it there. I'm like, perfect, I'm bringing it. And yeah, this morning I stopped by the old house to grab it, and I actually practiced a little bit before we bowled our block, just to get a feel for it. It's been a while since I've thrown it, and yeah, it worked great. So it was a great ball in this pattern. Just early, kept it in play. 16 pounds, got the man weight. Definitely got extra hits because of that. I think I would have 5.710 if it was 15. So I definitely had.
It was on the table.
Yeah, it's out there.
It was definitely possible.
With the angles, for sure, the angles I was playing. But yeah, but grenade is a great piece. If you can find one on OfferUp like I did, I highly recommend it.
I think that was the one that really got me.
Yeah.
OfferUp.
OfferUp. I bought a about a year and a half ago. I bought a brand new nib Frantic for $170 on Facebook Marketplace. That's a steal. That ball, I mean, people pay like $400 for that ball. So I was like, all right, perfect. You get lucky every once in a while, I'll just casually look every once in a while and find a gem and grab it every once in a while.
I might have to check out OfferUp. As much as I don't bowl anymore, I still keep an eye out for gem bowling balls.
Oh, yeah. It's nice to have a little stash you can dip into every once in a while.
Let's check if Theo has added some scores. If you have any questions, by the way, I know we had a couple people, I think, looking for a particular player or bowler. Please feel free to let me know. So if I can get you there, I will definitely try my hardest to do so. Switching out what you see in the picture-in-picture as well. Right now, that's 9 through 12. And then we'll have 1 through 4 full screen. We'll see 5 through 8 full here in a sec. But good start here again for Cote. 1 and 2, not too bad overall. Ken Thurman is out there putting in work. He said he felt comfortable, or a little bit more confident, I should say, going to bowl again. His family was watching the stream a little bit earlier. Another lefty. All right, so Alec Johnson after 2 games, plus 40. Dylan Taylor after 2 games, plus 30. Wow, what a Sean Wyatt Truskowski. 138.
No way.
2-8.
That's
Wow.
nuts.
Wow.
Hey, a great comeback there, though.
That is impressive.
And he's got the stones. Double, spare, strike. I mean, he's got a great look.
Plus 18. Mike Hardesty plus 3. Cesar Padilla Jr. is even. D-Ron now minus 7. That's 6. Sean Noshbush minus 16. And then we've got 3 players tied at minus 22. Interesting.
Wow.
138, 280. Incredible.
And Sean started off good 3-bagger, then unfortunately missed head pin on the left here on 7 and 8. Hopefully he can cover it. Sean's a really good guy. Oh, good cover. Really nice guy. Another bowler again who's been bowling really good. He has recently won a bunch of the Ajnong. Carl runs like these eliminators. Yeah. He's won like I think like 3 of the 4 that Carl's ran. I'm like, holy moly, this guy's a legend. So yeah, Sean's a great guy. Lives in Sierra Vista. A couple hours down south of Phoenix. Him and Jess obviously bowl a lot of the stuff around here, and both definitely very talented bowlers. All right, Bree. Let's get back on it here with another strike. Get the string rolling. Get up. That's the problem with the plastic, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't be going away from the head pin. It was going away as it was making its way down.
Yeah. I mean, it's safe. Like, it's very safe. You're probably going to get to the pocket more than everyone else. It just, you're going to give up the hits, obviously. But, you know, maybe she covers it. Put a double here, and then, you know, get out here with like 220, 230, and that'd be great. So shape a little bit.
So, speaking of that, so Bree, all right, minus 66. Brett Wolf, minus 59. Robbie Patterson, minus 60. We were talking about a lot of really good bowlers who had been struggling throughout, and this has been the case every squad.
Oh, yeah. A lot of talent struggling.
Chad Lucci struggling a little bit. The good news for Chad is he's got a score in the clubhouse that could end up allowing him to make match play if it doesn't go well.
Okay. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, let's go to up to 12 on Saturday. Yeah, he's at minus 24. He's got a score at minus 24. That happened yesterday during the noon squad.
Okay.
So he's got one score. DJ Kneifel is going to be very safe again in that top 6 highest overall scores who did not earn an automatic spot.
Yeah.
Then there's Ryan Howard, who is bowling tonight. He's bowling on 5 and 6 right now. Just next door here. He's in at minus 7. So he too has a score that.
Oh yeah, he's sitting in a good spot.
That could make.
Yeah.
Then it gets a little tricky. Along with Chad, Charlie Price also at minus 24. He bowled this morning. John Mayer also bowling tonight. He's got a minus 33 out there. And Steve Matthews and Troy Blickenstaff. That's who we were talking about coming into this one. They're tied at minus 54. And that was a tie for 6th in that overall next highest totals or 6 highest totals. So a lot of possibilities.
There's a lot of
still remain.
A lot, that's for sure.
Kyle Gilbert wasn't too bad earlier. In fact, thank you, Brian. Also, thank you, Ron. Kyle Gilbert, he actually bowled pretty well toward the end of the block in the afternoon.
Yeah, Kyle, he was another JBT guy. I think he also bowled for GCU.
Okay.
He hasn't bowled in a couple years. He kind of stopped bowling. He bowled some CBEs and stuff, but he just kind of stopped. You know, I think he just had a kid and stuff, so, you know, he's got, you know, life things that are more important than bowling. And
children will make you stop bowling.
Oh yeah. So today was the first time I've seen him in years. I'm like, whoa, who's this stranger? And he's like, yeah, I'm getting back into bowling. So I guess he bowls the league at Kyrene Lanes where the Ajnong Open is, and he's going to start trying to bowl a little more, which is awesome to see. So it's good to see more good bowlers, you know, come out and bowl again and put bowling in front of their life and personal choices. You know, bowling should be first. I'm just joking around again.
I caught where you were going with that.
I was looking at you. I didn't know if you did. I didn't know. Maybe you thought maybe I just said it backwards on on accident.
And then I was waiting like, all right, so is he going to say it again or is he going to laugh?
Yeah. Oh, man. Alrighty, well, I appreciate you having me on here.
I
think
appreciate
I gotta
you.
go watch some people and see if I can ball rep a couple friends and stuff.
Check in on the homies. And,
Absolutely.
let us know what the deal is down there. They'll
Will
make
do.
the flip, and we'll see them again before the end of the block is over.
Yep, for sure.
Thank you, Tez. Great
yes,
bowling
sir.
again.
Thank you. Yep, it was nice seeing you.
That is Cortez Shank. He is going down to the high end. He was taking a look at Keith Fong, the A-Cups, Derek and Corrine. They've, of course, continued to move down toward the high end of the building. Calvin Hugger, by the way, had some really good opportunities during the afternoon squad. He had the front 7 one game, I think. Ended up shooting 230. He had two 230 games. They both happened on 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right now he's on 5 and 6. But those games were surrounded by 160-plus games, unfortunately. If he turns either of those games into 190, he gets an automatic spot from that squad, or at least is at a higher score in total than a couple other people that he would be good in the top 6 perspective. Breeze over there actually talking to Cortez. D-Ron looking very D-Ron-ish now at this point. D-Ron, by the way, go back to our tonight's standings. Again, you can check that out. Everything is pinned. D-Ron at -7, 170, 223. Well, we'll see if Mr. Ruskowski can keep it rolling. He's doing that right now, and actually someone else on his pair has gone strike, spare, looks like 6 out, unfortunately, then followed by a 4-bagger. That's a break for D-Ron. Truskowski strikes again. We got a 5-bagger. Again, over on 11 and 12. Mike Jones is putting together a little bit of a game, too. Mike Jones, who? Look real quick. Jones on your right. Great shot. That's 3 in a row for him. He's clean. You're looking at 240 possibly, Robbie Patterson. Cote right at your screen. Bree, by the way, made the switch to plastic in game 2. Oh, no. Yeah, game 2, maybe like frame 3-ish? Frame 4-ish? We had a lot of fans in the chat tonight. The Russos were watching. The Snodgrasses were watching. Not to mention her own family who might have been watching as well. And she's going to be in the 220s. Oh gosh, that was priceless. She is having as much fun as she possibly can at the moment. She did shoot 220, as she just said, undoubtedly. D-Ron, strike here puts him in the 230s. Did not like it. 2, 4, 10. Oh, he's got to make this, of course, to remain with an opportunity to get to the 220s. Oh, wow. That right there, folks, honestly has been, and it's probably magnified for me because I watched the exact same thing at the U.S. Women's Open, where players have great games brewing, one small mistake, and then of course you try to execute to the best of your ability to make the split in this case, and he sends the 2-pin right in front of the 10 or right around the 10. The backup precision, by the way, too, really phenomenal in that sense. Let just tell you how close this was to being made. That's tough. Go back down here where the scores are brewing. Wyatt did shoot 216. There's a gentleman there who looks really familiar. I just don't know his name. His jersey currently is nameless, but he's about to make a name for himself possibly here. He's got 6 in a row. Same situation, 2, 4, 10. Chris Clerk trying to get some brewing there as well. He can get into the 160s. He's on 9 and 10, as you can see. .215. Boy, it's been difficult. High game 223, had 200 over on 7 and 8, so not too shabby. Thank you, Ron James Hawkins. 216, 215, 203 over there. That 216 again from Mr. Truskowski. I see a possible 220 situation. That is on 13 and 14. Eric Acuff is going to be in the 170s. James is actually making his way down to 7 and 8. All right, so no bowling on 1 and 2 yet. Matt Anderson, Ryan Howard are down there, though. Looks like Brett Wolf's down there as well. Keith Fung still trying to figure something out here. He struggled this morning also. Good shot there from Clerk, an Eagle winner at the Open Championships. Wow. Holy smokes, did that ball hook.
I'm gonna have Ben hop on, the tournament leader.
All right, we're moving to game number 4. We'll go back through 5 through 8 for a little bit. We'll see Sean Wyatt and Mr. Sean Wyatt, who just shot 280 in game 2. Yeah, that's the high game of the tournament. We talked about that. He did follow with 216. Speaking of high games of the tournament, the high 7-game total of the tournament belongs to our next guest. And that is Ben Perry. Ben, you've been the talk of the tournament.
Yeah, it's been kind of nice.
I feel like you know that.
I didn't know what the number was obviously going to look like after the last couple squads and everything, but after seeing what the numbers look like, I'm very, very happy with the results right now. So
everyone that I talked to today, and obviously who bowls with and against you all the time, talked about your ball roll and how a lot of folks called it unique. You get a different type of ball roll. How would you describe your roll, and then what really helped you get to the plus 156 that you got to yesterday?
So I threw the black hammer 78 all day, and basically when I was experimenting in practice, I threw a couple reactive balls, just didn't really care for the look. I honestly thought the purple was going to be really good, and there was something out there, but it just wasn't, like, I'm looking for control, and that purple was very erratic for me. I was like, I just can't do this. So ended up going with the black, playing straight up like 5 to 7, and then, like you said, then it's just kind of different hand positions and working on things like that I've practiced and put in the time for. And yeah, it kind of all came together this tournament so far. But again, tournament starts tomorrow for me, so we'll see what that looks like. But
I think I've been saying the first time I saw you, I think it was this tournament.
It was, yeah. That's the funniest story is Theo is one of those. Obviously, he runs the CBEs that are going on, and so we do that. And I was still kind of new to this type of bowling atmosphere, and I'm like, we're gonna go give this thing a shot. Go to a couple CBEs, and you get ran over by these guys because they're really good out here, and obviously everywhere too. But I'm just saying the quality of bowlers here in Arizona is very, very good. Decided to give it a shot. Eventually, I'm starting to make some cuts at CBEs. get through and win one, and then we come to this. He was like, you should probably give this a shot, and then that was that first year against Haugen. I'll still
Right.
never forget, right over there on 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yep. It's not that it's a bad memory because it's just my story, my process, and everything. But it's obviously you want it to go a different way. But I also think that's helped me get to where I'm at today. One of those moments, you know. So, but
And I don't just remember you from that match. Like, I mean, and it was one of those. What was the scenario late? Like, did he make a comeback, or did you have an error late?
What it was is game 1, he ran me over by like 60 sticks.
Right.
And then game 2, I got 20 or 30 back or whatever it was. And then I didn't think I was even going to get an opportunity. And then I think he got like 8 on his fill. And I'm like, oh, I could strike out to actually tie him. And then I ended up throwing 3 good shots.
Right.
Obviously, heart rate a little pumped up. And then we have to go through another shot right after. And then match play, or as far as the roll-off, that didn't go as great. But it happens, so.
You stood out, man. Just not from that. But those are the kind of matches that certainly are memorable. But you didn't stop there, though. And you just talked about practice, different hand positions, things that you've been working on and applying. So what's the bowling journey for Ben Perry? How did it start for you? And then obviously you're here at a point to where you certainly got another level I think you could reach.
Correct, yeah. Well, that's what I'm hoping for. So I didn't know about JBTs. I moved out here to Arizona when I was 8 years old and been here now the whole time. It's been very interesting meeting new people and stuff like that, but me and my dad, again, coming from California, we didn't know about the junior bowlers tour and things of that nature. So he asked me, he's like, do you want to get in adult leagues? I said, sure, I want to compete with the bigger boys, right, because juniors is going well and stuff. We end up going to adult leagues and at like, I don't know, 15, 14 or whatever. So that takes me out of all the college status and stuff like that. So, but I also think that's, again, molded me into competing today at my age, I guess, because it's just,
How old are you?
I'm 27. I'll be 28 in October, so it's actually Carl's tournament is that's my birthday every year. So I was like, that would be a fun one to win. So, but yeah, no, it's go through that, and again, go over to B3. I started talking to those guys with Mike, Brandy, Brett, who's bowling right now. He's my coach. I've gone to him a couple times when I think, things are out of whack and stuff like that. He's just so knowledgeable. And to be fair, being left-handed with him, it definitely helps.
That
out.
helps.
So yeah. So, but yeah, Mike, Brandy. I mean, I've seen Tez kind of grow up. It's funny. I was bowling juniors and I see this guy to my right, and then I'm like, oh, now I know him. I'm like, that was Tez and everything. Yeah, it's just it's crazy. And then as you go through the whole thing, then it's like you start meeting these guys, talking to them, and now I feel like I've gained a lot of respect out there for people. So, but a lot to still go for. The plan, I got to do some research, but as far as the PBA and everything, I don't know if tour trials is happening or what it is, but this next year, that was the whole plan. If I can, at least give that a shot and see where we fall. If not, then try and get out to a couple national stops if it's doable, if I can get my name out there, whatever it may be.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
All right. Okay. You got Ben Perry in the booth, folks. He's just kind of laying out the plan a little bit. Are you surprised at all by what you're seeing, and even from the left side? Because, I mean, I was thinking that every lefty, and Mike Hardesty and I were talking about it, we thought every lefty would be happy to bowl on this after watching you bowl, and it just hasn't been the case.
Right. I've got a few messages from people, and I told them exactly what I did, but there's, if you're trying to play up the ditch, it's, in my opinion, it's not really out there. I tried a couple shots in practice, and you can try and slow roll it, and you might get a couple hits, but what I saw, I just don't think it's, to be consistent with that, I was just like, I'm good, and so ended up just playing. It's still up 5-7 with my speed. It's just, it matched up right now. So again, hoping that pays off for tomorrow. Who knows? Because now this pattern's been ran out a couple times.
Yep.
Like tomorrow, for all I know, urethane might not be in play. I doubt it. I think it's going to be okay for my style, but we're going to bring everything and see what the lanes give us, basically.
It's always interesting when you get to the match play, and to some degree, right, your draw is of importance to some degree.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you happen to bowl another lefty, that would affect your plan a little bit.
I was watching you guys, watching earlier, and what was it, last squad, there was 10 to 12 lefties or whatever it is. I think on my squad, other than me, Brett, and I know I'm going to be missing a few names, but maybe I'm going to call it max 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So when I have, the look or whatever, it's it can hold up a little bit. Of course, later on, I caught some pairs where I definitely felt they were longer. The pattern definitely got stretched because of the other urethane that was going down, but then that's where it's the hand position of me tricking it a little bit and getting it to still go through the pins the correct way. So.
Well, I don't want to give your trick away, but have you seen any other, like, can anyone else replicate your trick? I mean, I know that's what makes every bowler unique. That was
right.
Speaking of tricks, that was an interesting situation.
Saying what it is as far it's just hitting on it a little bit more, you know. It's the thing is, you bowl on enough of these patterns for my sake, and okay, your ball goes a little bit longer, you might have to, again, as I call it, trick it with your hand, hit on it a little bit more, and if you still try and trick it, ball's still not getting up the hill and you like flat 7, then I start hesitating, okay, I probably need to get out of this ball. So I talked to, again, Wesley when he was over at B3 and stuff, and now he's obviously a staffer with Storm and everything, but there was a tournament, again, at a CBE. I remember these certain moments, and things just clicked with me, and he told me, he's like, I was throwing a big, strong ball, my ball wasn't getting up the hill, and he's like, I think you should go weaker and just kind of hit on it, and I did that, and I shot 270 the next game, and so I was like, thanks, Wesley. Like, we did a little something with it, but it's, yeah, it's just, after so many years, start seeing similar stuff in your ball roll, and you just make the right decisions off of that. At least you hope to. So.
Well, you made a lot of great.
Who's where we're kind of looking at with all that, but other than my buddy Sean, who I came down to watch, or Wyatt, who goes $136 or $138, and then shoots 280 the next game. So.
Well, from the standings, if you're just referring to this squad.
Correct.
Then,
yeah, just this squad.
This squad. Let's see what we got from an updates perspective. I saw Theo going down to handle business in regards to scores, so that's good. All right, we've got. What game are we in? It's game 4?
This should be game 4, yep.
All right, so we've got a couple of additional scores, or an accidental score, I should say, from Mike Jones. He's got 203,143 for game 3. I'm going to take a photo of this because it's funny. But so Wyatt's at plus 34. We've got Reggie Elliott at plus 2.
Okay.
Man, game 3 was not kind. All right, there we go. All right, makes sense now. Not every score is added yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, that's. But I wouldn't be shocked also. Alec Johnson was leading after 2 at plus 40.
Okay.
And then Dylan Taylor was at plus 30.
Gotcha.
After a couple as well.
Gotcha.
So those 2 scores, though, aren't in yet for game 3.
So we might have about four potential people who are plus right now. That's kind of what we're looking at? Okay.
Yeah, which would be on par, but minus your squad.
Yeah, I was, like I said, I mean, DJ's a good friend of mine, and he's sitting at plus 40, and if he would have bowled any other squad, you know, it's just one of those things where.
Sean Grant just made a spare, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, DJ would have been, you know, either having a bye or whatever it is, but I'm sure he's just happy to make the cut. That's the key, is just get in the top 24, and then let's see what happens when you get to match play. So
it was funny because, you know, obviously DJ, a topic of discussion because he was leading, still is, the top 6 overall scorers who didn't get autos. And you go after yesterday, right? All right, plus 42, but you just don't know, right?
Absolutely.
It might be on the bubble.
Oh, yeah.
One squad this morning, like, okay, DJ's safe. And then this afternoon, like halfway through, I'm like,
yeah,
he's fine.
In. Yeah,
like,
he's absolutely
in.
That's what I don't even know. Our extra 6, I think, I could be wrong, but I think it's pacing around, what, minus 20 something right now. So after this squad, I think maybe minus 10 might get you in, minus 12. Because the quality of bowlers on this squad, I still have faith that scores might jump a little bit, but it's just so difficult. Like pair to pair, you don't know who's going to, you know, throw what, and then you still got to be dead accurate with it. That's the key. So
that was part of the thinking when we got off the air this afternoon. I started reading all the names who were going to bowl at 5 p.m., including re-entries, and then, you know, D-Ron ends up re-entering, of course, and it's just like, all right, you know, overall this could be the strongest squad minus a couple of players. But as you just said, you just don't know. There's been so many, what I like to call hazards. There are so many hazards on this pattern.
Absolutely. Again, you miss inside it over hooks, and then so your brain tells you to throw it out, and then with all the urethane going down, it catches that, and it's just, you got to be very, very accurate. And I was talking to Mike Jones a little bit earlier. It's just finding, compared to a little bit of missed room, you're just looking for a little bit more because you're not going to find a lot. That's kind of the scenario of this pattern once they put that all out. But I mean, you can go down the list right now, looking at all the lanes. There's splits, single pins, it's everything. You're gonna get some of the weirdest leaves at tournaments like this because people are trying to do other things, and then it's still. I don't know if anyone's picked just the 6-9. I'm sure there's probably been a 2 count in there. I have no idea.
There was a 2 count yesterday.
Gotcha.
Actually, it was either on 1 and 2 or 3 and 4.
Okay.
Well, I saw 1.
Yeah, I've heard 1 and 2 has been very brutal, and I was very lucky enough to not hit that pair on my Friday block so far. But again, we'll see what it looks like tomorrow.
So Wyatt is at plus 34. He's your leader after shooting 138, then 280, then 216.
I'm going to take some credit for that because he told me to come on down, and ever since I showed up to help him quote-unquote ball rep, even though I didn't tell him anything, he didn't miss. So I'm going to take all the credit for that. It's not him throwing the ball. I'll take that. But
and it was the traditional 280, strike spare, back 10. And then he had a double to start game 3, so he got himself a Vera Papa in there as well.
Yeah, and right now he's pacing, what's his max score, still like 240, looks like, on...
Yep, 247.
What lane are we on, 7 and 8?
Yeah. James Hawkins, by the way, just coming off a 215 game. I don't want to jinx him, so I'll just wait for him to make the spare. Cesar Padilla Jr. at plus 21, that's second. Alec Johnson shoots 167, so he moves to third at plus 7.
Okay.
D-Ron.
D-Ron's up there?
Fourth at plus 3.
Okay.
Reggie Elliott is fifth at plus 2. We got 5 players plus through 3.
Gotcha.
Kenneth Thurman, who bowled in the afternoon, and he told me I got a pretty good idea what I need to do. He's also left-handed.
Gotcha.
He is now third at minus 14 for the first 3. He shot 210 over on 1 and 2 in game 3 before making the jump to the high end. And Sean Noshbush at minus 16, Dylan Taylor at minus 16, Mike Jones at minus 19, Mikey McQuiston at minus 21. Very similar to what we watched this afternoon, and even to some degree this morning. Just a couple of players who are more or less, 20 pins, 30 pins maybe ahead of the field for at least a couple of games, while everyone else is really close.
Yes.
From like 3rd through, in this case, let's just say 12th.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is this is our fourth squad now. So
yes.
I think that game 7 is going to be very interesting. I think we're going to be kind of piled up, and let's see who can shoot. And I'm not even going to say 220 or 230. It might be 220 or 190 could keep you there, because that's just kind of one of those things. But
I'll tell you, I don't even know what to expect of Desperado, except a tie, which happens 2 out of the 3 years.
Yep.
So I would actually fully anticipate that.
Like we already talked about, we already got one through Ponzo and Duster going at it, so we'll see. But
yeah, we jinxed it early because I started talking about ties early in the same sense of the Desperado. I didn't anticipate them to certainly tie for second, and who's going to get a bye. We didn't anticipate that.
No.
We got Ben Perry in the booth, folks. He is the leader, and he's going to be the #1 seed. But of course, #1 seeds, they don't get anything extra tomorrow when match play starts, except a little bit of extra sleep if he wants it, because even then, I'm sure he'll probably be here somewhat early still. The warm-up lanes will be available. Probably be watching what's happening on the left just from other players to get an idea.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's the game plan, at least. I said get here early, just kind of see what's going on, make sure I feel good. Same process as Friday. Get up, get some, good breakfast, feel good, and then hopefully it's a long day. So.
What's a good breakfast for Ben Perry?
Oh, that's
what do I need to eat to go 156
either just
over?
either ham and egg sandwich, just something like it's nothing crazy, but just a little something. So.
Does it need to be from a certain place? Are you making it at home?
Just making it at home.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I actually, when the tournament's here in your backyard, basically, or 30 minutes from my house, I'm like, all right, we'll get up 7:30, 8 o'clock, or whatever time we're kind of looking at. Have breakfast real quick. Probably leave. Actually, it'll probably have to be a little earlier than that. So
tomorrow.
yeah, it'll be a little earlier than that, but so.
All right, I'm going to do the standings. I'm going to do up to 5 p.m. All right, and I'm going to give everyone kind of the overall landscape again. So Ben at plus 156, Michael Fitzgerald plus 84. But these are overall scores. Duster technically would be third. Ponzo would be fourth. Then GT2. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We've got 3 players actually tied at plus 75. That's interesting. Theo's got some work to do on that. Just from the seeding
who's all tied?
perspective.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
We know that Duster edged Ponzo for the bye in that squad.
Yes.
But for the overall seeds,
Right.
now Cortez, who also was the top seed or the leader of his squad, he's got to somehow break a tie, which probably will be high game, and that would go to Cortez.
Okay.
So I think it would be Perry, Fitz, Cortez, Duster, Ponzo.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, no, not Kyle. He doesn't get a top 8 deal. Then down to GT2, then to Matt Zweig, then to Kyle Michalowski, then Dwight Burns. I'm just looking at again now overall scores and tallies. Andrew Kane at plus 14, Burns at plus 16, Michalowski at plus 22. Again, Zweig was at plus 29. There sits DJ Kneifel in 7th at plus 42. Going to be bowling tomorrow, certainly. But didn't get an auto spot simply because he bowled. You know, that's always the thing, too, right? You could say he didn't bowl on the right squad, but he definitely bowled on the right squad.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, you just want to get in. It doesn't matter at that point. That's what even if I'm going to be the number 1 seed or if someone runs down my number, it doesn't matter at that point. The bye's great. That is the advantage that we're talking about. But from there, I mean, whoever's coming out of the Desperado, if I am the number 1, right, I'll be bowling them potentially if they beat their matchup. We don't know what that's going to look like. So, and someone in the Desperado, it could be anyone. You just have no idea. And as I talked about, the quality of bowlers here in Arizona is really good. Plus, we're getting people traveling from Vegas and other places that I'm sure I don't know exactly, but so.
Yeah, some Cali in there. Let's see who else. Matt Jones bowled super great the last 4 today to get to plus 3 this morning. He earned an auto in B squad. Sean Wood got the last one in C squad at minus 6. And then that's where we started looking at the top 6 overall. Again, with Kneifel leading that. Then on to Ryan Howard, who's bowling again. He's bowling tonight, but he's at minus 7.
Minus 7?
Yep. Charlie Price.
He's probably doing it just to be safe then.
Yeah.
But that's.
I would think.
I like his chances, but I don't want to jinx anything. So.
And let's see. We've got 1, 2. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It will be interesting. When you're at minus 7 and even will get people around him, that is difficult, right? And we're just talking about 6, so I understood the reasoning. Assuming, right, that's what he's thinking, right? All right, if somebody gets to even, a couple people get to even, they're around me. Kevin Jenkins working his way down here. He should be down here pretty soon, actually.
Yeah, I believe so.
He's giving a look here at Chris Clark, who's going to shoot 224.
224, yep. And again, on stuff like this, you shoot 220. It's like shooting 250, basically, or 260.
Chris Clark, this game. I'm sorry, this squad, I beg your pardon. Coming into game 4 was looking at. All right. He was minus 89. That's a big game there in game 4 for Chris Clark.
It's good timing. Stay quiet. Good shot right there.
Yeah, I've seen him get hot in some other events in the past, and you know, once he gets in a good rhythm, he tends to strike a lot.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's where I don't know if he threw this ball prior to.
Yeah, like I said, I got here started game 2, so I didn't see his first game shooting buck 36, but he said he was just washing out a lot because that's what that pair looked like to him. And then obviously he found a little bit of miss room, got a couple hits and shot the 280, and then even to I know he's not gonna be happy with that, but still shooting. What can he get to? 190 is just fine on this. So, especially where he's kind of pacing right now. But
I can't remember who I asked this. I think it was I talked to Fitz earlier, and actually Derek Acup this morning too. How difficult, even though you bowled well, right? But I'm sure there's a shot or two throughout the block that you said, well, that just wasn't very good, or it was good and it didn't do what you like to. You didn't get a break, but, you know, how difficult is it to really kind of not necessarily hold yourself accountable, but just consider what you're actually bowling on and to not beat yourself up too bad?
that's, yeah, I tell a lot of people, anyone who asks me, you know, with my recent success or just kind of followed me throughout the last couple of years, it's the mental side. When that's good, that's when I'm bowling at my best 100%. Because if that's not, then it's a little rough. And I've gone through it. You can, if you ask anyone, last Thursday, bowled league and shot 518, and then we come to this and do what we did. It just sometimes doesn't make sense. So it's the highs and lows. I mean, I know everyone is joking about Fitz shooting 160, obviously at the pro-am or whatever it is on no tap, and then he comes out here and gets to plus 70 or 80, whatever it is. It's one of those things. It's day by day. You gotta move on from each shot, and especially a tournament like this, because you start, you know, stressing a little bit. You're like, oh, I got to get to a number, and then you're like, oh, I felt like I bowled good, and I only have 190 out there. That's the hardest part, but it's also what makes it very exciting. That's for sure. So,
well, Kyle Wakefield had a good opportunity to make up some pins there. Got the first one, and unfortunately, everyone's favorite 3 off the right. That has been a popular leave on the first ball, unfortunately.
Still get him to. Oh no. That's decent. I'll take that.
All right, 216. Brett Wolf is going to be at 204 to strike. Got a couple of players. In fact, KJ finishing things out on 9 and 10. 201 for Brett. Brett finished second last year. He's trying to make sure he holds on to a spot in the number. Or get to a spot in the number, I should say. There will be a new champion. Darren Tang has won it twice. He's bowled twice and won it twice. But he is not competing this year.
Assuming he's bowling in Utah, I would assume. I think there's
yes,
a regional.
From what I
on,
understood, yes, he is bowling in
Gotcha.
Utah. PBA regional, I think it's presented and sponsored by Storm. Gets to 191 off camera briefly here. That's a solid 2-game total here for James. He shot 215, then comes down to 7 and 8, shoots 191. That was a clean 191.
Is that Jenkins gonna get to 220? It looks like.
Appreciate you. Rolling Franklin over there. Well, I've got a lot of cakes for the birthday. He just brought I forgot where he works, but I forgot which casino it is, but he just bought this large piece of cheesecake.
Oh.
You like cheesecake?
I do like cheesecake.
Okay. Well, you can help yourself.
I appreciate it.
Because I'm not going to eat all the stuff. I got a lemon bundt cake in there. Feel free to indulge in that too. Thanks to Bree and Theo for being very nice. Who else bought something? I saw Calvin Hugger coming out of the Fry's grocery store. And
really?
No doubt. And I went and brought some fruit just so I can get through the night.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving, and he's going in, and I kind of like, he's looking at me, he said, hey, how you doing? I'm like, you're kind of one of those, man, he looks familiar, looks, and I'm like, wait, you about to go bowl? And he said, yep. And then, you know, I bowled last year, et cetera, et cetera. He's like, oh, it's your birthday, right? You want me to get you something? I'm like, no, I'm okay. I came here and got what I needed. I'm all right. But I appreciate everyone's generosity. Folks, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up. And appreciate you hanging out, sharing a little love for bowling tonight and really all day. Some of you have been on all day, like Rep. Carl was here earlier. He's still watching. Carl Ong, Ben Perry's teammate.
I'm sure he said some stories about me, that's for sure.
A little bit he did earlier.
I'm sure something got brought up about bowling Cactus over Tuesdays and stuff like that. Just He always gives me some stuff about Tuesdays, but even though I'm still doing quite well over there, but we have some bad weeks, especially in a position round, unfortunately. So costed us making it a little bit further, but again, that's the nature of bowling for sure. So
Good pair here. We've got Matt Anderson, Prince Elliott, Brett Wolf. John Mayer's going to join us on 7 and 8, along with Mike Hardesty. Uh-oh. Mike is in trouble. Has nothing to do with bowling, but it does look like perhaps the hand dryer on 7 and 8 is not in working shape.
yeah, that was my starting pair. Same thing. I remember putting my hand over it. I was like, oh, we're gonna have to go buy a fan or something. But
It is a little warmer in here tonight too. So this is game 5, ladies and gentlemen. Game 5, so we are at the 3 games left point. Now, this is where some players really started to kind of make the dough, if you will. For the righties, I felt like this is when the lanes started to really show that they were decently blended for those who continued to migrate left. And you can actually get your ball through the fronts and get it down lane and keep it on line most of the time. We saw some players have success with that throughout every squad. Not everybody, but certainly a good few. See if that's in play here. Prince Elliott's Matt Anderson and coming off a nice run at the USBC Open Championships.
pretty good. A little light from Reggie, but I'll take that. Again, 9 is very good on this. So
Got Ben Perry in the chat. Any questions for Ben about his performance today? Obviously, tomorrow is just going to be completely different with regard to match play, who your opponent's going to be. You don't know anything about that, obviously. What's your typical approach, if you will, for match play? Like, just describe how you like to go about it. Doesn't matter the tournament, just when you get to that part of the format.
again, same process as qualifying. Again, one of those things that have stuck with me. I talked to Brandy and Mike over at B3, and Brandy made a comment one time, and it's stuck with me for a while. It's you got to learn how to bowl on Sunday, and I put myself in situations to get to that point, and now we're getting a little bit more experience, and so I'm hoping again it pays off tomorrow. But it is a different battle, definitely. Like you just don't know if am I going to hit another lefty? Am I going to, because I think it was last year at this tournament I lost to Caesar Padilla in top 5 to top 8 or whatever it was, and it's one of those things. I'm lefty, he's righty, and who can make the better shots? It's just kind of comes down to, and so. Of course, in practice, you're looking down to break the pair, or break it down a little bit so you have something to kind of shoot for, and that's the same thing when you got your 10 minutes of qualifying. Just look for a little something. I try and keep the game very simple, stupid, as I call it. It's just little moves, little things, because I think once you start thinking too much, that's when your game just doesn't.
Trouble can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a little rough, but yeah, just going into it, it doesn't. I've gotten to that point where, of course, maybe a couple years ago, I was like, oh, I'm bowling Brett Wolf, I'm bowling Andrew Kane, I'm bowling these guys, big names who are Masters champions and people who have been on TV, won tour titles and everything, and now it's at the point where I've bowled with these guys enough that it doesn't really matter who it's going to be, because in the end, you can't change anything. You just go out there and you make as good amount of quality shots as you can, and then that's it. You live with the results. I bowled Kane, I think, it might have been the Agent Ong the first year, and I feel like I threw the ball pretty well, but he got me still, so.
This is 5 through 8. 1 through 4 now, bottom right of your screen.
Good shot there from Jenkins. My Cardistee just got a hit a little bit ago, which again, those Brooklyns, up on the scoreboard, it looks good. So as Fitz was talking about, if that's what's out there, and you got to do what you got to do. So
Cortez, he basically said the same thing that Fitz said earlier, but he said it just in the Cortez way about taking Brooklyns and like today was the day, or whenever you bowled, or however many times you bowled. Today was the day to be the most unapologetic you could ever be about striking or taking Brooklyn strikes. Excuse me. Like, just don't even worry about it. Don't feel bad about it. Like, you're just trying to get to tomorrow. And Brooklyn's were part of that for a lot of players.
Oh, yeah. When I got here for this block, I know Reggie Elliott, he had a couple, and I was looking at him like, absolutely. You go double and you throw good shots, and then you catch a Brooklyn on your, to keep a string going is awesome. So.
Should be intriguing to see what the scores look like here, because there were enough scores in the single digits, whether they were plus or minus, to where it will impact obviously the top 6 who don't get automatics. Well, I should say it's really the top 5, not including DJ Knifel at this point. But yeah, the minus 25 scores or the minus 34s or 33s, like Charlie Price's score, and Chad's for that matter, Chad Lucius. Those are the scores that then become impacted.
Right.
The more we see -2, -3, +2, +3.
Chad's going again down there too. I don't know what he's looking like, but
he didn't have the best start, but he also finished well when he did bowl yesterday, which helped him get to -25.
Yeah.
So that's something to kind of keep in mind. This happens a lot on tour too. It is rare when you see, good players struggle, and it happens at every level.
Oh yeah.
But it's still one of those things where you go, didn't expect that. Like,
right.
Not at all.
No, it's again, Fitz was talking about it earlier. He said it's out there on tour, they probably break down the pair better so that the scoring is a little bit easier, let's call it, as far as that goes. Or not, I'm not going to say easier, but it's more gettable.
Consistent and scoreable, yeah.
Yeah, but because over here you do have some people where they might be spraying some urethane or they're throwing the ball in the wrong area, as people would say. But again, I always come back to it. It's a tournament in itself, right? It doesn't matter how people talk about, oh, I don't like urethane going down the lane. It's a tournament. So whatever works for you, you can throw the ball and throw it in that area. There's been tournaments where I see all the lefties playing outside of 5, and I found a little zone where I'm happy inside of 20 to 25. My ball's barely spinning up, but I'm getting the hits, and so I'm gonna run with it. So it's just one of those things. But we got 3 in a row for Jenkins right here, I believe. Great shot there.
So you might have been listening to when we were talking about, I think you were, we talked about just in regards to lefties and the amount of lefties that bowled this afternoon.
Yes.
Curious though, would you rather follow a lefty or bowl or cross with a lefty? Is there a preference?
Yeah, Brett's saying the right answer. Just let me just be myself, if we're being honest. So no, I mean if they're just right now they're on this pair, but yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because me and Brett at our Mesa tournament, we ended up winning the team event, but we were also bowling on the same pair for doubles. I was bowling with someone else, and he was bowling with someone else. But by the time we got to doubles, it's hard to say that it was maybe harder than this, as far as it was just we torched the lane because we got it good when it was for doubles, but then we hit singles and our scores dropped drastically. It was brutal, that's for sure. But no, I mean, it's the nature of it. Who knows who you're going to cross with, and you'll go from there. So if I had a preference, it's to probably bowl with them, I would say, because then I can at least see what's really going on. Whereas if you're following, yeah, of course you can take a look. But I've been in, again, Theo's tournaments before, and I followed a lefty where I think reactive was the play, and they were throwing urethane, and I caught their pairs, and then all of a sudden I'm flat 70ing a lot, and I have to try and, again, trick it or make a move, and my scores drop, and they were still scoring, so hats off to them. But it's a little rough, so. See if Jenkins can get 5 in a row here. That's a good shot.
I like discussing lefty conversation. I'm not left-handed. It's always a quote-unquote popular discussion, right?
Absolutely.
Depending on the tournament and how many advance and who doesn't. But from watching you yesterday, and then that actually brought up the conversation about the amount of lefties. This happens a lot and I spent a lot of time on the women's tour, where there just not a lot of lefties, generally speaking.
Yeah.
The best ones, Shannon Plahowski, Sherry Tan, for example. But, they've had their fair share of struggles this year, just the left as a whole. And so you always hear those conversations, and I just like to personally hear what preferences might be actually available. What do lefties prefer? What do they don't like when they're bowling?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's how every righty talks about in league or whatever tournament. If you can be by yourself and the shot stays true, it is always nice. Like I'm not blind to that, I've kind of fed into it at this point. If people want to talk about it, it is what it is. It's the nature of the game. There's less lefties in this world. So, and when it's good, it could be really good, and when it's bad, we don't have anyone to help us break down a pair. So, it's just kind of how it goes. But
Prince Elliott not getting it right at 15 with his purple hammer. This right here is very similar. I mentioned about Game 5, you started to see scores slightly go up. Almost every squad.
Yeah, it's looking like 5 and 6. We definitely got some scores going right now, so we'll see.
The difference here is, though, everyone's throwing urethane.
Yes.
Every single person on this pair.
Yeah, that's what I was, again, talking to Mike Jones about earlier. He said...
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Just making sure you got it.
Absolutely. But no, he was. He said he was scoring at the end of his last block, but it was the fresh that he was struggling with. And today, or this block so far, he went like 190, 180, 2-0. And again, he's down there on the high end, so I'm not entirely sure what he's been doing this last game and stuff. But if that's kind of what you're hoping for, is just maintain the fresh and stay within that 190, even if you're about minus 30 and then you catch a good pair when now transition has affected it a little bit, then you get it while it's good. But
well, speaking of scores, and we've got some fresh scores almost all the way completed and updated. But Cesar Padilla shot 248.
Oh, that's massive.
So he's at plus 69, and looks like he's going to be the new leader here. He's next door on 3 and 4 with Sean Wyatt-Truskowski, who also still in the top 4 in second place at plus 24. Dylan Taylor was someone I thought could bowl well on this, just because he certainly is going to keep it in front of him and throw it essentially as straight as he can at the head pin. Or if he is going to hook it, it's going to be off the gutter.
Right.
He's at plus 8.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Let's see. One more refresh. All right, all scores are in. All right, Mike Jones, 4th at minus 14, 281.
Probably switched into his ethos or something like that, or he's just still maintaining the pocket with urethane, but that's what he said. He, again, did last block, and said he got it pretty good late games 4 through 7, so if he keeps trending in that direction, maybe he'll sneak in a bye. But obviously scores I don't think they're going up, but they're still pacing right around the same number it's been on all squads, it kind of seems like, other than opposed to or my first squad, I guess I should say. But
well, very important to know right now, there's a tie currently for 5th.
Okay.
At minus 22.
Gotcha.
All right, so KJ here is at minus 30. And 7th, Brianna Cote. And if you missed it earlier, folks, Bree went to plastic.
Really?
Yes, in game 2, about frame 3, she shot 177. Went over to 3 and 4, shot 221. Wow. I'm assuming she's still in plastic in game 4. And she shot 212.
Then my next question was, did she put some surface on it, or that's just what the lanes are giving her?
No.
Like prior to the block, obviously. But
no, it was not intended to throw.
Gotcha.
Plastic. She did what she was looking for reaction in game 1, looking for reaction in game 2, and I won't forget this because I think she missed the head pin left in frame 1, but got a lot of 9. Then we talked about making moves when you do that, and you try to make the adjustment, make sure you get it right. She missed the head pin right, washed out. And then the next frame, she switched to plastic. She had had enough. And she bowled this morning.
Right.
She bowled at 7 a.m. and had a little bit of a better reaction later.
Gotcha.
In the block. But
So
right
she might
now,
be in that same situation where maybe she's getting out of it and getting into what she had success with. Again, she'll be probably by game 7. I'm assuming she'll be heading down this way. Yeah, Mike Jones giving me the thumbs up right now.
well, we got a front 6 alert too. Looks like it might be Kyle King. Uh-oh.
Kyle King.
They're starting to get serious, folks. People know. We only got 3 games left,
Yep.
and you only get 2 games in the Desperado,
That's
so
true.
you better make the most of what you got right now.
I think he's got a purple in his hand, I'm pretty sure.
Front 7 for Kyle King. Cesar Padilla clean through 6. Mike was telling me, Mike Hardesty was saying that Cesar is really good at the backup.
Yes.
As well.
Oh, he has more rev rate than me as an actual lefty, as a backup bowler.
That's crazy.
It's insane. It's when I watch him bowl, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. So
it came up when we were talking about GT, and obviously you were bowling. So, I'm not sure if you got a chance to see what he was doing, but GT ends up coming down to 7 and 8 and shooting 246 throwing a backup. And he did it because he saw Troy Blickenstaff shoot a 3-9 backup, and then I think he finished about the rest of that game halfway through it, or back half, I should say.
Gotcha. To actually add on that, he came over to me. I was down on the high end, and he asked me, "Hey, what was your starting pair?" And I told him 7 and 8. And then apparently, I believe that's what the pair he ended up throwing back up and scored on it. So
that was part of his process.
I guess we broke it down a little bit on that side. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some movement. If you said Jenkins is at -30, he's got still 79 out there. You got, Brett's got still 258.
Let me see who else here. Well, I mean, Prince here at -44.
Oh yeah, and he's running what, 257 as well? Looks like. Yeah.
I talked about James Hawkins. Yeah, he's put together 3 good games: 205, 215, 191.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know where he's at actually.
I
Is
think
he on 1 and 2?
No,
he's
on 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Gotcha.
Then Alec Johnson, unfortunately for Alec, this is kind of where things started to get a little weird for him earlier, although he was managing, I think, some 180s earlier, but he went 160, 140.
Gotcha.
Hook, stop. Hook. I'm going to hook some more. Tell my wife, say if she's listening, it's harder than nationals.
All right, to Angela. Brett says, if you are listening, it's harder than nationals, is what he just said. And I quote. That says a lot, actually. If it's harder than the OC, then yeah. There is some hydration going on here. A lot of hydration. I would call it hydration and frustration here at the 4th annual CBE Cactus Classic. That's a good 9 there.
That's a really good 9 for Reggie.
Kyle King, 8 spare in the 8th.
Okay, we'll take that.
We'll take a look at that here in a moment. Go full screen on 3 and 4 too as they get near the 10th frame. Is Erica Hanna watching this right now? I saw an Erica reference, but I don't see Erica's name. And I'm not going to put her username business out there in the streets. But if she is watching, hello. Speaking of nationals, she runs a fantastic group. I think she had 17 teams that were part of the opening day at the USBC Women's Championships this year. I know that because I was there and I watched it, and my wife bowled in that group. And she's bowled in that group now for 2 or 3 years. And I commend anybody who, great shot,
Really good
who puts together 2 teams for nationals, let alone 17.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not one to bog people down, get that deposit in.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's your money?
I'll be going to Nationals July 26th, 27th. Still have yet to go out
Oh,
there.
that's
We're going
right.
like the last weekend or
I
whatever it is.
forgot
so,
it
yeah.
extended that far out.
Yeah. So we'll give that a shot and see what happens. But obviously, I've heard the talks, as Brett just said. It's national. It seems like it's pretty hard. So, but we got a good group of guys out there that hopefully we could break it down and at least get some score out of it. So.
Angela is watching indeed. This is great. You know, it's funny. Angela, and she also reached out and, well, through Brett to give my wife a nice compliment, which I did tell her, Angela, and she did say thank you, by the way. I know that was a little bit ago, but she was absolutely very thankful for what you said to her and about her game. When I go to bowling places and I'm not working, I am trying my hardest to be very incognito. I truly am.
Fair enough.
I'm just there to, which is rare, to just have fun.
Right.
And enjoy. Of course, in that case, I was trying to be a good husband because it's hard for me to watch my wife bowl. Like, I'm just a nervous person.
Yeah,
when,
I gotcha.
You know, it's like when you watch your kids compete or
absolutely.
whatever. That's
Absolutely,
me.
yeah.
I'm like pacing up and down.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need to just go sit.
Right.
That's me.
Good shot from Caesar.
Cesar.
Yeah.
Well, you could have your 1-2. This game is, we're about to, I don't know what's going to happen now.
It's a big shot from Reggie right now. He missed it inside.
didn't
Hopefully he
like
gets lucky. He did.
That's the one.
Those are the hits right there.
Got to parlay it.
Yep.
Got to parlay it.
You remember I live in Northeast Mesa, right? So.
Dylan got running over there. He still has like 220 out there. 7 pins.
Hosen is joining us. Yes, sir. We are still bowling, Hosen. We had and we're still going to be bowling after this. Hosen just woke up on his side of the earth. The big 12-hour, 13-hour difference in Hong Kong. We've got a Desperado squad after this too, Hosen. So you're in for the rest of the night. Well, for our night, your morning. See if Prince can turn this into something here.
They go like 10:20 to 3:30. It's like a short.
That's what they say, right? It's only a break if you take advantage of it. So
It's already a better shot. Oh, maybe not. Wow.
and that's the hardest part of that, because you get around it, you miss in, your brain tells you to throw it right, and then all of a sudden you're missing the head pin. It's just very, very confusing. But 'cause I agree with you. I liked it off his hand, and it just never shaped. But
Well, 230 is going to go a long way.
absolutely.
236 to be exact. Matt Anderson shoots 190, and for Matt, Matt was at minus 62, so he'll move to minus 72. I mentioned Reggie here. All right, we'll get good count.
Caesar just threw it really good. Or Cesar. I don't know if I mess with that pronunciation.
It
I
is
have no-
Cesar.
Cesar.
Yeah.
Cesar, yeah. He's got, still has 2-0 out there. That hurts. Those are the ones in those 10 frames. He finally caught a good pair, and it's still a great game. It's just gonna. Wow, and Chris Clark just 8-pinned on a phenomenal ball in lane 1. Looks like.
Brett was at minus 81. And he finished that game, he's in business with 2 left.
Jenkins, those are the hits. Brett 7 pins, Jenkins went through the face and struck. It's just the way it goes sometimes, but looks like Wyatt got to 198, and
He'll still be in business, though.
I don't know who's over on 1 and 2 pacing 270. That's the only thing I haven't clicked on yet.
All right, let's take a quick look here.
It's either going to be Robbie, Patterson, or I don't know who else is on that pair yet. But yeah, it looks like it's Robbie. Robbie Patterson's pacing 270 if he punches right now. Or still in the 9th frame, but.
All right, so Kyle King did shoot 266.
266.
We've had 2 games of 260 or better.
Wow.
Which I'm not sure that's happened. Even as much as you bowled, like as well as you bowled that squad, I don't think. I mean, Kyle Ponzo shot 277.
Yep.
What was your high game that block?
245. I think it was game 1, 245. Yeah, that was it. And then I had one other 242 in there, but yeah, the 270 is that's a lot. And yeah, Wyatt got 280. You said another. What, we've had 2 others.
Yeah, 280, 277. Kyle just shot 266. Thought that was one more.
I think there was. I just don't know who. Unfortunately, I black clouded Robbie over there.
Yeah, you did.
That's on me.
Split in the 9th, so he can shoot 236. But we do see James over there, and it's going to be another game for James in the 190s, 192 to be exact.
Looks like Cesar got to 203. Like you said, James got to 190. This pair on 5 and 6 was solid. Those are great scores on that.
Yeah, that might be the best pair of or best cross for a game of any squad.
I would agree with that 100%. Most of the time you see someone shooting about $150, $160. So.
And that 190 had 2 splits in it.
Yeah.
Clerk looking to spare strike to get to 180. Alec Johnson will get back into the plus territory this game. He'll be in the 2-0s. Well, 201 now to be exact. Kyle King. Let's see where Kyle was. Let's see here. Kyle. Kyle was 13th at minus 49. Now he's now plus.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's going to be some shifting in the standings for sure. What'd you shoot?
So King's going to be at plus 17 with 2 to go. This will be about as close as we'll probably get, maybe. With the exception of like this morning where where Fitz and Matt Zwag ended up kind of duking it out for first place. Who was going to lead, but they both ended up getting buys. But just in regards to, there hasn't been really much for those trying to earn that 4th and final spot in every squad.
Right.
Like Matt Jones ended up having a heck of a final 4-game stretch to get to +3, and ultimately he became that number.
Right.
I thought the previous squad this afternoon, there were a lot of players around 4th. So I was thinking it was going to be a little bit closer, but it ended up not being a lot of intrigue.
Gotcha.
This one here, tons of intrigue.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I said I think Game 7 is going to be very, very interesting. So hit the right pair, get a couple breaks, and that might be enough. So because I think Dylan Taylor opened in the 10th for 171. Robbie still has 226 or 225 out there. 26. So.
All right, good spare there for Robbie. Back over to 5 through 8 here as we get over to Game 6. Got Ben Perry in the building. Appreciate you, Ben, for hanging out.
No, yeah, no worries. I think I'm going to sneak off if that's okay, just
absolutely.
because Wyatt took off to the high end, and his scores are dropping a little bit, so maybe I can go help him out ball rep a little bit.
You do what you got to do to get my guy in there.
But again, Emil, I appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow for sure.
Good luck tomorrow.
So, thank you, sir.
That is Ben Perry, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to Ben hanging out, providing some additional insight on what's going down out there. His block, how he prepares, Good dude. Interesting bowling origin story. Joined the adult leagues pretty early. When he moved to Arizona, he said he didn't know about JBTs and such, and so Dad asked him, "Hey, you want to bowl some adult leagues?" He was like, "Yeah, I'll take the challenge. Bowl against the big boys, if you will." Of course, thus missing out on several years of training, seasoning with regard to youth bowling, but everybody's bowling journey is very different. And I tell you, Ben Perry's certainly peaking at the right time. He's starting to put it all together. Got a bright future ahead. Somebody just asked about our host and asked, is Corrine and Bree still bowling? Yes, they are. They are indeed still bowling. Corrine's on 7 and 8. Bree is now on 13 and 14. Again, the interesting situation will be, is she still throwing plastic? That's the question at hand right now. Is she still throwing plastic? Kyle King just shot 266. He moves into plus territory and would certainly be in the top 4 right now. But you can't leave out the 240, 230 situations. KJ is going to be in the mix. Brett would need a nice 2-game stretch to be firmly in the mix. We'll keep an eye on Mike Jones, too. Who? He's over on 1 and 2. He just threw a shot there, but let's go to 9 through 12. Let's take a look at Brett for a little bit. He does start with a double. Matt Anderson moved over to that pair as well. Chad Lucia is bowling on that pair also. Really for the first time, not that obviously guys weren't trying, right? But it feels like now everybody knows what's on the line, what's at stake, what's important. But you can't count on 260 though. Even though we just watched 3 or 4 really of the best games we've seen for the entire tournament, and 3 of them were on one pair. You just can't count on it. Pair to pair. For those still curious, as you enter and watch tonight, again, appreciate you tuning in. Please hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. Subscribe if you don't mind as well. Of course, Goldstream TV right here on YouTube, free to watch. Thanks to Theo Duthay and Complete Bowling Events. Also, shout out to Carl Ong, tournament director of the Agent Ong Open, because AOO in Hosen means Agent Ong Open. And Carl is running some winner spots. I think it's 1 in 9. He said as his ratio. They'll tally all of that up after qualifying is complete. See who's going to earn maybe a free entry, or someone will earn a free entry into the Agent Ong Open. So that is what that stands for, that acronym. Well, if you've never seen Dylan Taylor before, enjoy, because my guy is firmly in the mix. His birthday is also the same day as mine. It was yesterday, June 20th. Shout out to Bob Wiley, whose birthday is today. He bowled earlier this afternoon. Dylan took home the New Mexico Open title 3 years ago. Might be 4 years ago now. I think it was 2021. Here's Kyle Gilbert. I learned a little bit more about Kyle from talking to Cortez this morning. Hello, Mary. You too have been watching bowling all day. Which bowling have you been watching? If you haven't been just hanging out, maybe you've been not in a position to chat. I think there were a couple of Well, there's always a few bowling events going down. You know, again, big regional in Utah that was going down today. I'm sure there's tons of other things as Matt Anderson gets the 7-pin to fall on 9 and 10. Theo Duthay is starting to make his walk. He's making the score walk. Regina. Actually, Regina might be in Utah. Husband George, who handles the PBA West and is it the West and the Northwest regions? Regional manager or director, excuse me. We've got about half a squad to go, and that includes the Desperado, which is a 2-game sprint. Cesar, well, he had himself a really nice run. Pretty impressed with what I watched from him last year at this tournament. Saw Corrine throw this real time earlier. Was it this morning she bowled? Yeah, this morning. And it was a good look. It was something that allowed her to get the ball down lane clean. And she's got it out here. Will it make a difference late? That's certainly what she's hoping for. Kyle King has turned on the Jets. He's moving in the right direction after shooting 266. He is now plus. And not only plus, but he's certainly in the top 4. We'll get the final or updated standings, I should say, after 5 games in just a little bit. Wouldn't shock me though if he might be second at this point, and possibly certainly in the mix for a bye without question. No, possibly actually about that. Deron Booker, the last time we looked at the standings, this was after 4, was tied for 5th. He's down there on 13 and 14. Brianna Cote again had switched to plastic. She was at minus 33. Again, this was after 4. Theo is he's on the high end now. He's about 13 and 14 inputting scores. Wow, boy, Mattia. We don't see a lot of that and haven't seen a lot of that. There just hasn't been a lot of bowling balls that have been doing that. Mike Jones just got a very nice break. Chad Lucci had a nice start, front 4, spare. Back-to-back spares. Dylan Taylor feeling pretty good. It's a much different vibe now in these last couple of games. Alex Benton trying to make it interesting. Ben's got the 4-bagger here. All right, let's refresh the standings. And well, we get just about every one, but there is one that is supremely important. We'll need Sean Wyatt's score. Wyatt Triskowski. So King gets a plus 17. Cesar Padilla still leading at plus 72. Kevin Jenkins plus 15. Deron Booker at the plus 12. Brianna Cote is minus 8. We're now at the point officially where the top 6 overall scorers that don't or did not receive automatic spots, that list now is starting to really change and take some shape. All right, one more refresh. And all are in. Okay. So Padilla first at plus 72. Wyatt Trzaskowski second at plus 22. Kyle King third at plus 17. Kevin Jenkins fourth at plus 15. D-Ron Booker fifth at plus 12. Brianna Cote is sixth at minus 8. Reggie Prince Elliott seventh at minus 9. Mike Jones is eighth at minus 20. Dylan Taylor ninth at minus 21. Sean Noshbush minus 30 and 10th. Brett Wolf 11th at minus 44. They're 5 through 10 all right now would actually, those are numbers that would get them in. Actually, no, 5 through, yeah, 5th through 8th right now. Plus 12, minus 8, minus 9, minus 20 would get you in the top 6 overall list. That's going to be interesting. Well, I'll try to do my best to make sure I'm on top of that that extra list. So KJ went over to 1 and 2. Obviously, his score of utter importance. Let's rewind again. KJ fourth at plus 15. Again, players around us: Cesar Padilla on 7 and 8. KJ on 1 and 2. Quick look here at KJ. All right, takes care of the spare. He's going spare. I'm sorry, strike. And 4, no, strike, spare, spare, strike, spare. Mike Jones is working on a double, and he is nearby. He's in 8th at minus 20. Padilla off camera just takes care of that spare. Mike Hardesty. Great shot. Jones and Elliott over there. Firmly in the mix again, along with KJ. So you got 3 players on watch on 1 and 2. Mike Hardesty right now, tied for 15th at minus 72. Would need a couple of big games late and a little bit of help. He's on watch right now on 3 and 4. He's bowling with Christine Johnston. Garrett Strail bowled really well to start today, to start the day. Aiko trying to figure it out. So King and Padilla Jr. and to some degree still Alec Johnson. Also Dylan Taylor still in play. Here on 5 through 8. Let me check where Garrett Strail is. We'll check back in on 5 through 8 here in 1 second. Garrett's at minus 115, and it might not be enough games. Robbie Patterson to get to minus 100. It's interesting, though, because I've been watching this all day. And minus 100 with 2 games to go, this is not your normal tournament. It's not your normal pattern where you feel like, yeah, that's not going to get me there. And minus 100 isn't going to get you there. But minus 40 might get you there. So you can somehow come up with 60 pins late, which feels like climbing Mount Everest on this pattern. Trying to find 60 pins in back-to-back games. Alex Benton, by the way, at minus 69. And that's him on the right side of your screen. Well, he just wrapped a mean 10-pin. If he makes this, his max will be 233. He is bowling on the pair with Brett Wolf at the moment. Also on that pair, Matt Anderson and Chad Lucci again. Ball change there for Cesar Padilla. Dylan Taylor. That's a lot of 9, and that's a good 9. For Dylan Taylor at minus 21. Ben Perry said something that I'm probably going to keep with me and use on the air, and I will give credit to Brandy Calderon. And Ben, who goes over to B3 Performance to train with Brett Wolf, of course, Brandy, and she told him that it's just now you got to learn how to bowl on Sundays. And to some degree, this feels like a Sunday moment right now for a lot of these players. He's going to have the best 2-game stretch. Uh-oh. We'll go back to 1 and 2 quickly here because Mike Jones is still striking. He's got 5 in a row. Prince just doubled as well. He can get to 224. KJ working on a double currently. Ryan Riley also over there. Always want to see good things happen to the Riley family. I don't know how Cesar is able to do what he's doing. I mean, that's impressive. Had to get something that was just a touch cleaner, though, to get down there, get down the lane. All right, back to KJ quickly. Oh, jeez Louise. Wow. 6'8". I can honestly say I don't think I've seen a 6'8" or 4'9" today until right now. Boy, they about to make Theo work here. Because there's going to be so many scores that are going to be close. And obviously, only the top 4 get the autos. But that top 6 of the rest is about to change and flip. Yeah, Regina, I remember watching him at this tournament last year, and I was trying to get all the information I could, but my goodness. That young man has got all-world talent. All right, Brett with a nice break. 2-0 would go a long way here. Prince Elliott, high flush. Mike Jones to his left, 2-8-1. 3-3-0. I can't finish it. Count will be important here. Make sure Christine Johnson might sneak in here late. She was in a roll-off in the Desperado a couple of years ago. Kyle King just left a 2-pin. The first shot in the 10th, KJ spare. 220 opportunity. For Mike Jones. Again, Elliott did strike again, so he's still in the 220s.
Not really. No, not really.
He's pacing in the 2-0s. It's a big frame here for Mike. That's a break you'd like to get there, but most importantly here is the spare.
Did you go to school there?
Again, Jones at minus 20.
I thought you were.
So any plus scenario here is a golden one for him.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Mike Hardesty. Mike trying to make it interesting. He's minus 72. And now we'll gain a few more pins to the good. Kyle King just shot 201.
Riley wasn't there. Riley became like assistant.
Kyle's now at plus 18.
He's a great dude. Yeah. He is.
By the way, Mary, I saw your comment about the staying up for the Desperado. I asked myself that same question. The good news is, though, Theo made a few changes, and he certainly wasn't thinking about me when he made these changes, but I do appreciate it. Because we went from 8 games to 7, right? The breaks have been all right. The pace of play has been very solid overall. So we've had about an hour 45 to 2-hour breaks in between. And so we anticipate probably the Desperado to start, if not at 9 or before 9. Alex Benton, very important 10th frame for him. He just opened in the 10th. He shot 188. Brett Wolf can shoot 203. He will need all 3 in the 10th. Prince Elliott just got the first one in the 10th. Christine Johnston, 10 pin. Elliott at minus 9. He got the first one in the 10th. This one might put him in the top 4. Oh. I see you, Prince. Crown him. Padilla, just unbelievable what he just did over there. 204 for Cesar. He gets to plus 76. Ben Perry confirmed what Mike Hardesty told me about Cesar's ability to throw it back up. And not only throw it back up, but have a higher or varying rev rate to some other significant left-handed players, which is unbelievable. I'd love to see it. Brett gets the first 2 in the 10th. Still hope, still alive. 1 game left. Jones shoots 213. Maybe something going down on 1 and 2 that we need to take care of, or that they need to take care of. Maybe some dead wood of some kind, something that I don't see down there. Whoa. Just realized someone just bumped this table all the way. I mean, it wasn't even close to being correct. So to give you some context here, so every year I've used like a food cart, or actually they probably put ice in this cart, put some drinks in it, and they walk around and be able to properly serve some of the bowlers. But I use that to put a camera on for 5 through 8, so I can get it centered right in between where we really need it centered. They don't have enough cars for me to do that at every station. 4 pin there. Final shot for Reggie Prince Elliott. So he shoots 223. He's going to go down to the high end. There's going to be a lot of scores for me to keep track of down there. See if I'll be able to get this cut number prior to Theo being able to to get all the scores inputted. KJ just got the first one in the 10th. I'll take you over there in a moment. Quick shout out to Jessica, who bowled back-to-back squads. She was one of my sleeper picks early because she's generally able to keep it in place. She's been doing a lot of that today. All right, KJ, this to get in the 2-0s. Great shot. Mike Jones, Ryan Riley, Chad Lucci will finish it out on 5 and 6. So Mike Jones, we'll get to see him kind of front and center. 205. For Kevin Jenkins. So KJ shoots 205 as we officially now into game 7. 7th and final game of a full qualifying squad. This will be the 4th and final qualifying squad with 7 games. Desperado coming up next, not too long after the conclusion of this squad. Again, a little bit, probably just before 9 local, so 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern. All right, thanks again to Sean Butterfield. Been here the last couple of days. He works in other parts of the business in regards to broadcasting. Loves bowling, though. His family's from Nebraska. Entire family went back home this weekend, so he's been here just hanging out. Asked us if we needed anything. He's been kind of hanging out on the high end and providing a score or two every now and then. He told me unofficially that Brianna Cote's got to -16. She shot 192. He's going to try to confirm if she's still throwing plastic, but if she is throwing plastic, And if you're joining us late, Bree went to plastic about frame 3-ish, frame 4-ish, game 2. Oh, she's next door. Now that I say that out loud. There she is in front of you. Bottom right of your screen. 479. Still throwing plastic. And makes it. Well, she's doing U.S. Women's Open-like things in a much different way. Other scores have off that are unofficial. D-Ron shot, D-Ron got to minus 15. Prince Elliott at plus 14. Kevin Jenkins at plus 17. Again, all of these unofficial. Cesar Padilla at plus 76. Kyle King at plus 18. Mike Jones shot 213. That puts him at minus 7. I might have to tell, let me see where Theo is. He's probably already getting it done on the scores. We're close to it. All right, Theo's making the walk. This is not quite the most important walk he's going to make today, but for me it is. Because for me right now, it is the absolute most important walk to know who's where and who's what. So I can tell you, the viewer, and then you can refresh the scores on your own as well. Just a quick note to you. So Chad Lucci is not going to have the score to advance from this squad, but he already put up a score of minus 25 yesterday during the noon squad. So scores are starting to roll in. Go ahead and give it a couple of refreshes, or you can wait and I'll tell you when it's all completely done. This might be a good thing here for Mike in the sense of, Prince was here. Now, they're throwing two different types of urethane. One hooks a little bit more than another, but he was about in the same zone that Mike Jones is in right now. Mr. Ken Thurman was in the mix for a minute, and but the last 3 games, unfortunately, just got the best of him. Brett was trying to run that number down. Brett Wolf, that is. He went 201, 237. That 237. He shoots 240, 250 there. He's still in the mix without question. He's got an outside chance, but he needs a lot to go well, and a lot to go right for him, both on the lanes, and he needs some help away from it. I think if Bree is able to just remain clean this game, she's probably going to be in some degree, whether it's an auto spot or have a score that's in the top 6. I'm going to go through those top 6 scores. Actually, let me do that right now for you. So DJ Kneifel was the leader in that top six group. Again, these are the players whose scores leading into this squad were high enough. The 6 highest totals of those who did not receive automatic spots. Plus 42, DJ Kneifel. -7, Ryan Howard. Keep that number in mind, because there are going to be a lot of numbers right around -7. They're either going to be just behind it, -10, 9, 8, 7, or they might be just in front of it. The -4, 3, 2, the evens, the +2s, the +3s. We are reaching the point that the -24s might be out of play. And it's solely based on the amount of people bowling right now on this squad and what they have done. All scores are in. Okay, here we go. Cesar Padilla, +76. KJ, Kevin Jenkins, +20. Again, the top 2 in the squad also received the first round bye. Kyle King, okay? Kyle King, +18. Reggie Prince Elliott now 4th at +14. Wyatt Truskowski shoots 186. He's at, he's now the +8, okay? Mike Jones, -7. Okay, I just told you about Ryan Howard's -7. All right? So right now, if things were to stay the same, Kneifel would be 1. This is the top 6 overall, outside of an auto. Then you'd go to Wyatt Truskowski at +8. Then you'd have 2 players at -7. So that's 4 spots automatically gone. And then you got D-Ron Booker and Dylan Taylor tied at -15 with Brianna Cote at -16. Brett Wolf is at -43. Brett has to have a big game. And right now, I'll give you the radio call because he is right now out of camera range. He's on 13 and 14. With that said, let's go down to 9 through 12 here quickly. We'll try to catch Brett on the right side of the screen there. There he is. And that's a 2-7. He had strike 4-bagger. You see D-Ron there as well. D-Ron has gone open, strike, 6-pin. Speaking of opens, Cote just had her first open in frame 5. Every other scorer or player that we need or that is in contention right now is on the high end of the building. It's a big strike there for Cote in the 6th frame. All right, so keeping an eye again on Mike Jones, Kyle King. He can't afford a low game here as well. He's over on 3 and 4. Dylan Taylor is clean. He just doubled. Big shot there for D-Ron. Cote and Booker are separated by 1 pin. And D-Ron is tied with Dylan Taylor. So the 3 players right now who are on 9 and 10, D-Ron Booker, Dylan Taylor, and Brianna Cote, all separated by 1 pin. Then you go to Brett Wolf down there on 13 and 14 at minus 43. Alec Johnson is at minus 46. Cesar Padilla well on his way to not only the lead, but earning a first-round bye. Who's going to get that second bye is the question. That's a race between right now KJ, Kyle King, Prince Elliott, Beatrice Cal. Really anybody's actually in play for the second bye. That could go any number of ways at the moment. Dylan out there getting it done. A 242 and a 234 when they're on 1 and 2 with an open. Actually in the 10th frame for the 234 game. That could have been a situation right there. Let me check that score just in case. Cote with the ever popular 2-5. Uh-oh. All right. Kyle King gets a lot of 9. He's still clean. D-Ron Booker looking to double. Brett Wolf. He did go spare. Looks like another opportunity for Brett here to get into the 250s. He might need every single one of them. All right, so the 234, go with Sean. Noshbush got to minus 17. That's important. He is officially in play. So Noshbush, Sean, his wife Jessica bowling as well. He's at minus 17. So that puts him right there with D-Ron Booker, Dylan Taylor, Brianna Cote, and currently Brett Wolf. Dylan Taylor still striking. Dylan with the four-bagger. Bree has thrown one strike. D-Ron, I mean, you see what he and Bree are doing. Their scores are eerily similar at the moment. Chris Muldrow in the building. Shout out to my brother Chris. Good to see you, my guy. Hope all is well. Out there with Team CTD. Yeah, Erica, this is it's just like any other bowling tournament. We get to the last, very true last squad, if you will. And this is by far the highest number of players who could all make something happen or who will have an effect on not only the top four who will advance from this squad, but the top six of those who don't get automatic spots. And we still got a Desperado, and there is Dylan Taylor again. This is not surprising, again, for me, because understanding what Dylan likes to do with the bowling ball. Now, when you throw a five-bagger when you need it, again, this is somebody who threw it against Francois Lavoie for the cheese at the New Mexico Open 4 years ago to win 10K. He knows what it's like to win 10K. Not everybody can say that. Oh, that could be the break of the tournament. I think Bree is going to need at least the first two. If she doesn't get the first two, she could be looking at a possible Desperado situation. And it's going to be the same thing with D-Ron. D-Ron's got the upper hand, though, because he struck in the 8th. If he can get to 2-0, shoot, I still don't think he's safe. By the way, Brett Wolf has doubled. Brett could shut all of this down right now. It's like this is one of those moments where you can't forget who the OGs are. That's what Brett Wolf is doing right now. Brett Wolf has got, if I'm looking at the right score, I don't think I am, but I'll triple check it when he's up. But the 10th frame is near. D-Ron, big four, and that is not what you need there. That could be it for D-Ron, potentially. This will 100% come down to these top 6 overall tallies who don't get the autos. And there's going to be several players, again, in the same -10, 9, +1, 2. Mike Jones, by the way, shot 180. Huge shot for Cote with plastic. It is Brett Wolf. 166 in the 7th. He's got 250 left. He's -43. If he gets the first hit, he's probably safe to some degree. Bang. Who's the 2002 ABC Masters champion? Although his hammer was not blue, it was purple, but we will accept it. Brett is in the 240s. Good count here, and he's going to get the plus. If he goes 9 spades at 245, and he's going to be plus. He's going on your right. There's Cote. Wolf strikes. Cote. That's the one right there. That could be the one. That could be the one. That's the hit she did not get. She needed that hit. Especially with what Brett just did. Brett has moved all the way, not only just in the top 6 overall conversation, but now he's in the automatic top 4 conversation. Brett got to 256. Cote shoots 187. All right, so folks, by the way, you can refresh at any time so you can see what the standings are. As soon as Theo is getting scores, he is adding them into Tournament Bowl. Wyatt Truskowski is at plus 30. That's an important number. I did not see what Kyle finished with, but I think he got to 210. But that's a think. I am not sure. Cote, the 187, she will add 13 pins. So she's going to be at minus 29. Mike Jones is going to be at minus 27. D-Ron will not be, unfortunately, in this particular combo with regard to the top 6 overall that do not get autos. And a lot of scores. I see Prince Elliott down on the high end. He's still bowling. He just gave a big fist pump in the 10th frame. That's generally a good sign. Boy, just incredible stuff for Brett Wolf, who gets to plus 13. Alec Johnson 203 for good measure overall. Prince Elliott still bowling down on the high end. Radio call through the nose. That could have been a fill. No, that was the second shot in the 10th frame. KJ, I think, was on that pair too. So KJ might still be bowling. So again, we'll go back to the top 6 scores who were outside of the auto spots. And just with the numbers that we know. All right, Brett might have a top 4 spot. DJ Kneifel still fine. He's been in for a minute. But the Ryan Howard's minus 7 still might get him in. But you got Charlie Price, Chad Lucci. Those are 2 scores that are in front of Brianna Cote and Mike Jones as an example. That's not including whatever KJ's finishing up with. Cesar Padilla, more than likely, actually, I didn't see his final tally. I think he's good, though. He's going to grab the top spot. So KJ and obviously Prince here. Let me add up Dylan's. He shot 229. Dylan got to plus 14. Well, that was pretty good from KJ. Didn't see the final tally, but it sounded good and it looked good from what he was talking about. Do not go anywhere, folks. You definitely want to make sure you hear the top 4 announcement for this one. And then we'll Theo will also update the top 6. But my guy Sean here has got some other scores. So Reggie got to plus 15. KJ got to plus 3. Ooh, boy. Wow.
So give me just a few minutes to get these numbers all figured out, and then I'll be ready to start taking more Desperado entries. But again, give me just a few
And then the Desperado, of course. We got to get those entries going. All right, so don't go anywhere. Just numbers that I have. KJ plus 3. Reggie Prince Elliott plus 15. Dylan Taylor plus 14. Brett Wolf plus 13. Everyone is trying to figure it all out, which is, of course, what everyone's trying to do. If Cote gets the second hit there, she's going to be in that top 6. She's a couple pins even behind Mike Jones. Missing one more score sheet. So right now, Cesar Padilla got to plus 101, the second bowler to hit the century mark. Shout out to Cesar. Wyatt Truskowski plus 30. Reggie Elliott gets to plus 15. Dylan Taylor gets to plus 14. Those would be your top 4. All right. So again, Padilla plus 101. Wyatt Truskowski plus 30. Reggie Elliott plus 15. Dylan Taylor plus 14. That will put Brett Wolf 5th on this squad. But it also would put him 2nd in the top 6 overall standings of those who did not receive automatic spots. So now it goes DJ Kneifel at plus 42. Brett Wolf now 2nd on that list at plus 15. Then the KJ at plus 3. Kyle King would be next at even. Then we get down to Ryan Howard at minus 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're looking at Sean Noshbush, who shot 234. Noshbush gets to minus 17. He shot 230 the last game, and that 230 may have gotten him. Again, unofficially he's in. We'll wait for Theo to officially announce both lists. After that, Bree. What do we say? Bree came into this thing at minus. I said minus 16. It looks like she 1,000% needed the extra. She would have got to 198. That would have put her at minus 18. Even, of course, the way it turns out, even if she did strike out, she would have been 1 pin shy of being in that top 6. So Hosen at the moment, she did not survive. And I do not know if she will be bowling the Desperado. Again, all things unofficial until they are official by the tournament director. Brett Wolf did a lot of Brett Wolf things there. That was very impressive. Extremely impressive. So ultimately at this point, we had 19 players. It looks like every score is now in. We had 19 players go even. There might be a repeat or two in that. Actually, I don't think so. This is, and I'm reading scores just in the overall perspective. Again, it should be Cesar Padilla Jr., Wyatt Truskowski, Reggie Prince Elliott, Dylan Taylor. Those are your top 4 for D squad who would receive automatic spots into match play tomorrow. Brett Wolf, great comeback. Waiting for Theo, and obviously the importance of this is significant, so do you want to make sure everything is good?
5 p.m. squad, our final 4 automatic bids. Your leader at plus 101, Cesar Padilla. Second at plus 30, Wyatt Truskowski. They both receive a first-round bye tomorrow.
Padilla, Trzowski, first-round buys.
And fourth at plus 14, Dylan Taylor. You guys all have automatic bids. Our 6 qualifiers that did not get automatic spots. First was DJ Pinfall at plus 42. Second was Brett Wolf at plus 13. Third was Kevin Jenkins at plus 3. Fourth, Kyle King at even. Fifth, Ryan Howard at minus 7. And your 6th and final qualifier at minus 17, Sean Nosbush.
Sean Nosbush, again, is 6th at minus 17. So we've got 22 participants right now who are headed to match play. 16 of them have first-round buys. It is now time for Desperado entries, and we will start it at 9 p.m. All right, so no roll-off. No roll-off necessary. I will reiterate, one more time. And if anyone has a question about it, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now, because I do want to make sure you got everything you need tonight. Especially if you do not plan to watch the Desperado, and I don't blame you if you don't want to at this point. Certainly it's late in the Central and Eastern time zones for sure. The story tonight Game 5 put a charge into everybody.
You guys start at 8 a.m., so I say be here no later than
He put a
7:30
charge, or Game 5 put a charge into everybody on this squad. That's when things really got cooking. So Padilla plus 101, Wyatt plus 30, Elliott plus 15, Taylor plus 14. Those are your top 4 who earned auto spots from D squad, and Cesar and Wyatt get first round buys. Then the top 6 are the 6 highest totals who did not receive autos. Again, DJ Kneifel, Brett Wolf, Kevin Jenkins, Kyle King, Ryan Howard, Sean Nosbush. There are 2 spots remaining. They will come from the Desperado. With that said, got about 15 minutes to said Desperado. Let me go ahead and give you that event link if you don't have it. Go ahead and open that up. I'll pass that along to you right now. Desperado link is here. There will be a 2-game sprint to determine the 23rd and 24th seeds to complete the bracket for tomorrow. Yes. So go ahead and open that up, and I will be back with you in about 15 minutes. We'll watch the 2-game sprint. There'll probably be a roll-off because there have been roll-offs in 2 of the 3 years previously. So be prepared for all of that. And then we'll go through standings again just in case someone has a question. I'm going to go grab some water because that's important. Appreciate everybody. What was it? Shoot, plus 14. Plus 14 got it done today. Plus 14 got it done today.